We're back, night shift, normal American night shift. Happy to be here this fine evening. What a great night. Now, here's the deal. I had a caller this morning that said that I didn't do anything today. It was 10:13 in the morning. And I had announced my plans to put up Christmas lights with my son. And I'm actually sad to tell you that did not occur. I did not get the Christmas lights up. Maybe he was up to something. He knew something I didn't. Problem was, it rained pretty bad here. And so we decided to put it off until later in the week. So instead, I went out shopping with my wife and son and got some things done around the house. All in all, it was a pretty good day. I'll be honest. It was tough to come up here tonight and stream. I was having fun watching shows with my son. Some Wild Kratts. Also, he started watching Zubumafu, which was the Wild Kratts show like back in like the late 90s that I remember. Nonetheless, he's a fan. So it was fun to watch that. Thanksgiving afternoon, we had a tradition at my wife's mom's house. I don't know what it was, like 4 years in a row, we picked the absolute worst day of the year to hang up lights. Like 4 years in a row, it was in the middle of a blizzard. We're up on that roof hanging up lights. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's been a weird day. It's an absolute weird day. Been a weird couple of days for me. I thought I knew what the word gay meant in the context of being a homosexual, but apparently I'm wrong. Andrew Tate put out in 2025, if you're a straight guy with a girlfriend, you're gay. And then this guy informed me today that not only was it woman's work, but I was gay if I was hanging up Christmas lights with my son. So it must be another one of those words that have just, the definition has changed unbeknownst to me. So there you go. I don't know. And my friend was like, listen, if having a girlfriend in 2025 makes you gay, does having a wife make you more or less gay? And we don't know. I don't know the answer. So we'll send a memo out to Andrew Tate and we'll see what his opinion is. I do believe, I don't know, I haven't watched much Andrew Tate, but I do believe he's not a fan of marriage. I believe that's part of what's going on. Nonetheless. Yes, it's gay to spend quality time with your kid, I guess. I don't know. I'm starting to lose an understanding of what I thought those terms meant. But anyways, nonetheless. Tonight, topic, are Republicans faltering? Is it time to blackpill? Well, we'll talk about it. And I thought the best way to do would be to set a general overview of what Republicans in the Trump administration has been up to, whether or not I thought that was blackpilling. And then we have a video from Catherine Herridge. It's about 20-something minutes where she interviewed Kash Patel. Now, full disclosure, this interview was about 2 hours before the case against Comey was overruled or was ruled to be discontinued by a judge. So we'll go into that. It's going to be a small audience tonight. Everybody's streaming tonight. Jim Bob's streaming. Andrew's doing an invasion. Speakeasy streaming. Fabian Liberty streaming. It's a big crew. Cool Vic streaming. So there's a lot of other places you could be tonight, but this is the core Noron crowd. And we're happy to be here. Now that doesn't mean that we can't break our goal tonight at $357. Doesn't mean that. We can still break that goal. See, the great Naughty Germ already, $5 leading the way. And my goodness, look at this absolute Chad. Jets Gerald gives 50 memberships. My goodness, thank you as always, my friend Jets Gerald. 50 memberships. And I'll take one of those memberships and buy a cheap shot of tequila and a Modelo for a double Mexican drink the next time I'm out at the bar, which will probably be the next time I'm hanging out with the Crucible. Our good friend Avarice, he's backstage. Jim Bob's already winning the night. I forgot. I was supposed to reach out to Emmett about doing a debate tomorrow night. I already have a collaboration lined up. Not really a debate, but with the great Jason Mirnichuk, whose name I'm apparently pronouncing wrong. That's okay. He'll forgive me. Yeah, the double Mexican wasn't bad. But thanks so much for the gifted subs, man. Appreciate it. We have 33 people watching on YouTube right now, and Gerald just donated 50 subs. I mean, my math's not the greatest, but I do believe that means all of you have just received a gifted sub. Well, that's what it sounds like anyway. So we're going to hop into these topics tonight. Thank you to everyone watching over on Rumble. Thank you to everyone on Kick. And thank you to everyone on YouTube. We appreciate you all. So let's do it. Some of this will be a bit of a rehash, but I think it's worth saying. Are the Republicans faltering? Now, this morning, we talked about the ways in which Republicans were faltering somewhat. And of course, then we had someone say, but it's only been 10 months. So I want to talk a little about the concept of political capital. Now, I'm not going to act like a genius or anything, that I'm like someone who is heavily involved in campaigns or anything in a sort of gamesmanship type level, like running a campaign. There are other people that do that in this space or have done that. But, oh yeah, you definitely have to turn on gifted memberships to be able to receive them. But let me generally explain the concept of political capital. I explained it this morning, sort of like if you're playing like a role-playing game and you have a magic bar. So let's say this blue bar at the top here was my magic bar, and I only have 5 out of 357, 1% left. That would mean I could cast very few spells. Think of political capital like that. And there are things you could do to refill your political capital, but ultimately, it is sort of your ability to muster up public support and, more importantly, political support for positions that you have. So most of the time you're talking about political capital, you're talking about in the context of a president or sometimes of a leader like the Speaker of the House or the majority leader. The idea is, in order to get key legislation or key metrics on your agenda pushed forward, you got to put a lot of time and energy in. Obviously, there are certain things that the Trump administration could do through executive order, but they're vastly limited. So in order to get sort of your big ticket agenda items pushed, the idea is you push those first because you have to expend political capital on those. And then the successes you get sort of sometimes refill your political capital. Controversies, negative reports in the public, etc., tend to sap your political capital. All this is a fancy way, you can take out that term if you want, to say this. Most of the time, the beginning of an administration is when they're going to be able to get the most signature stuff pushed. You come in, you have an idea of what your biggest policy is, that's what you push for. That's where you put your political capital. Because what happens is, you get bogged down in your administration as time goes on. You lose political capital. More things pop up. There's no longer the will or the enthusiasm to deal with big projects. So with Trump, the political capital that you would assume was going to spend time on if you voted for him, I would have said would have been the following. Number one would have been the border, both securing it and deportations. That seemed to be a thing that he was heavily focused on, that much of his audience or that his constituents wanted. Number two would be Doge, reining in sort of excess spending, particularly to NGOs and other places where there's waste and fraud. Number three would have been dealing with potential election fraud and getting policies instituted to ensure fair elections. Voter ID, the end of mail-in voting, etc. Number four would have been dealing with corruption in general, what Trump would call draining the swamp back home. Those are the issues I think that most people were voting for Trump for. And then number 5 would have been economic policy. Now, Trump pushed some of this. Trump pushed Doge. Regardless of what you think about Trump, he definitely lowered the number of people crossing the southern border. That's indisputable. Certainly that occurred. And he deserves all the credit in the world for that. Now, is that a statement on how good Trump's policies were? Or is it more of a statement on just how bad Biden was? I'll leave that for you to decide. I think it's a combination of both, but more just how bad Biden was. And it's not because Biden was bad. That's not the correct word. It's because Biden wanted these people to come in. Incidentally, I had this. I was looking from something earlier. This is U.S. immigration by status, net immigration, 2001 to 24. So the light blue you see lawful permanent residents and those with eligibility to apply. The darker blue is INA, non-immigrant. These are admitted temporarily for specific purposes like H-1B, student visas, foreign officials. And then the red, you see other foreign national. Those are without legal permanent status. They entered illegally or overstayed visas. So people that are here illegally. Now you'll see under Bush, things weren't great. You had a decent amount of illegals. So that's him over an 8-year period, you see. Under Obama, he actually had a decline in illegals. Under Trump, more of the same. Still way too many people being let in legally, in my opinion. And then we get to Biden. So the total net immigration under Bush was slightly below 10 million. Obama, slightly below 8 million. Trump, 3 million. Now, with Obama and Bush, let's be fair, that's over an 8-year period. Trump had 4 years, but still was coming in at a pace lower than both Bush and Obama. And then in that same 4 years, Biden almost triples Trump. And the vast bulk of those are illegals. Of course, you'll remember day one, Biden proudly announced that he was rescinding executive orders of Trump. Proudly. It was one of his first acts in office that he was rescinding those orders. Now, I actually am skeptical that these numbers are legitimate. I think the numbers of immigration are higher. But these are the numbers given by the government. Even the government's numbers show an insane spike under the Biden administration. So, if we're going to give credit to Trump, and we should, for the lack of border crossings that we see now, we have to ask ourselves, is that because Trump had some shrewd plan? Or is it merely because Biden was so awful that just stopping what Biden was doing solved the majority of the problem? I think what Trump's done has gone beyond that, but still, that's the majority of it. Now, there were other things that Trump promised in his administration. He did say he wanted to be a peace president and tried to settle disputes across the world, including Ukraine. He had mentioned things like tariffs. He said about the Epstein files at one point, albeit a small promise, that he would like to see those released. What's your problem, Junior Coltrane? Junior Coltrane. Saying that I'm grifting, talking. You must be the guy that called in, or that was in the chat earlier today. You're typing a lot like him. This is a Trump could do nothing wrong, and how dare we criticize anything he's done, or it's the same as being CNN. type person. Now, I'll offer Junior the same offer I gave both of his alter egos this morning, which is, Junior, would you like to call in? And you can tell me how I'm incorrect. I would love that tonight. You'll get your fair shake to be able to say what you want. Or are you going to say, like your alter egos did this morning, that you're not a professional debater like me? Thereby all but admitting you can't actually defend your position. Either way, I'm happy to deal with you accordingly. But I'll proceed as he finds an excuse to not call in. So when we see Trump and you say, okay, the border secure, Doge started with it. What's really happened with it, though? I think there's been some good. Look at that. Finally, he says something honest. Well, it appears at least you have a cute cat. We'll at least give you that. Oh, look at this. Before I proceed, now we're at a stopping point. Fair, wild, unbelievable generosity. Thank you so much. $100. Says, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Rob. Also, if anyone knows someone with knowledge of Zelda who is out there, EOD could use a debate partner for December 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh, thank you so much, Fair. I don't know much about Zelda, so I wouldn't be able to chime in, but I do have an announcement later in my show about debate. Thank you so much for that, Fair Wild. Unbelievable. Thank you. So how well has Trump done? Well, as I said about 3 months ago when I was in a right-wing panel grading Trump, I was giving him about a C plus or a B minus. And here's why. I think that one of the things Trump did, and again, it's the same thing that I said about his first term. It's not a matter of playing 4D chess or that he, through his intelligence, was able to achieve something. It's because of who he is and what he represents. In his first term, I voted for Trump for two reasons. One, to expose our corrupt institutions, and second, to do something about it. He accomplished the first, but not so well with the second. This time, the thing that Trump's done the best, it's securing the border temporarily, because that's what it is if Congress doesn't do anything. It's temporary until we have a Democratic president that opens the floodgates again. That's probably not even the most important thing he's done. Probably the most important thing that's occurred is sort of the Overton window shifting. It's okay to admit now, yeah, there is something about culture and cohesive culture. And it's not just that this country is just a big economic machine and that we're all interchangeable cogs. And so we could import a bunch of people from countries across the world and say, it doesn't matter. It's okay to be like, yeah, this border policy was despicable and it's designed to harm the people that are in this country. It's okay to be like, yes, there certainly is a war against white people in this country. There is a war against Christians in this country. That cultural window, whether it be because of Trump or Trump a symptom of it, I still give Trump credit. And I think that that's huge. And that shifting culture actually has more potential to bring about positive change than even any political shift that could be done in 4 years. Problem is, since I last spoke of this about 3 months ago, I think that things have gotten poorer for Trump even on this end. He's allowed infighting within his own party. Again, you can only put so much blame on him, but let's be honest, the buck stops at the top. And sort of a lot of the hope that we saw of younger people that we're coming towards right-wing populism and wanting things like secure borders and wanting things like Doge, wanting things like being critical of the pharmaceutical industry, etc. They seem to be going more back to the left, in large part due to missed opportunities and priorities from the Trump administration. But still, I think that's a net positive with Trump. Of course, the other net positive easily is Aunt Kamala Harris, who would have ramped up her war against disinformation, would have allowed the border to continue to be open, would have had more left-wing socialist policies, would have proceeded with the attacks in every major institution against people that are Christian, against people that are conservative, etc. So he isn't her. I guess that's good. But policy-wise, what's he done that's good? Okay, securing the border. Doge, which it seems that there's a lot left on the plate. And basically his focus has been foreign policy. The tariffs weren't as bad as people thought, but I don't know that they've yielded positive results. Though in fairness, it would take years to see some of those positive results, like increased manufacturing in the United States. But if I asked you, if I asked you, where has Trump's primary focus been? It's got to be foreign policy, for better or worse, right? Now, Pisco just wanted to know if I wanted to talk about Sarah Tomato and stuff tonight. I do not. I'm over it. We still don't have resolution to Ukraine, Russia. You could blame other parties, but whatever. A resolution's not there from Trump. We bombed Iran. Maybe you think that's good. I wasn't a big fan of that. We're attacking ships from Venezuela. Seem to be exerting pressure on Venezuela for regime change. Israel-Palestine. The work that's been occurring there. I heard that I'm not so sure what to believe about the Ukraine signing a peace deal. I heard that they were adjusting some of the things, including one of the ones which would have been a full audit of the money sent there, which is absurd and asinine, if that's part of the negotiations. So we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, the point is, much of the core coalition of MAGA doesn't give a shit about foreign policy. In fact, quite the opposite. They want an undue focus on foreign policy to end. They feel that that's more a traditional neocon type thing. That's how they feel about it. And the biggest letdown of the Trump administration, and for that matter, of Republicans, has to be the messaging. That has to be the biggest letdown. That's got to be the biggest letdown. By the way, thank you so much, Jolly Feats. $20 has needed a break from the brain dead ideologies Andrew is combating in the invasion. Thanks for bringing sanity and reason, Rob. Of course. We appreciate the dono. Thanks, Fair. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Trump has had forced errors and unforced errors. His rhetoric on the Epstein files is amongst the worst I've ever seen. I've talked about it at length. There's not much more to say other than anytime you're telling the core portion of your base you don't want their support anymore for any reason, you are incredibly fucking up. And it does not take a genius to see why. And no, I do not believe this was some 4D chess move by Trump. And if it was, what a huge backfire. But then there's also other things. There were 2 attempted assassinations on Donald Trump. They did assassinate Charlie Kirk. And the Trump administration has been incapable of keeping this story in the public, let alone the almost nightly attacks we see across the country against ICE agents. It's almost as if they don't think that it's important to let the general public know how outrageous these things are. We spend time talking about who did Tucker Carlson interview tonight? More than Democrats were calling Charlie Kirk a fascist within 24 hours of his assassination. Of a killer that wrote, "Catch this fascist" on one of the bullets. Jimmy Kimmel became the victim in that story. So there's a lot you could go into detail. You could talk for hours and hours about this Trump administration. There's a lot to be let down. And here's the deal. Let me be clear. I thought that Trump had a very small chance of winning again. And I said maybe he has a 5% chance to win at one point. Of course, that increased as the election drew near. And maybe he has a 5% chance to do anything meaningful once he's in office. So in a sense, you could say, Rob, what's there to complain about? Isn't this basically what you expected? Well, yes, but Doge got my hopes up working with Elon Musk. Tulsi Gabbard being selected, someone that I thought had an ox to gore with the mistreatment she got at the hands of the intel agencies. Kash Patel, the same. RFK clearly had an axe to grind against the pharmaceuticals. Sounded great. So it was like, wow, this is looking good. And then it seemed that, what's Kash Patel done? Tulsi seems to be on the outs. Seems that she's been sort of irrelevant. RFK, more the same. Symbolic, it seems. Not much more. Elon? I mean, the relationship with Trump at this point, tenuous at best. There was a little hope at the service for Charlie Kirk. Tulsi's not a Russian agent. It's absurd. You might as well be a fucking lefty calling Trump a Russian agent. Go fuck yourself. Why? Because she talked to Assad at one point? Oh my goodness, Trump talked to Putin. He must be a Russian agent too. What a laughable assertion. So, in a weird sense, we're back to where I expected. Probably nothing meaningful. It's like a pause. We've hit a pause on the worst impulses of the Biden administration. Instead of running off the cliff, we're just walking off the cliff. That's what it seems like. To me. Then you get to the Republicans. One more thing on Trump, referencing them. It seems that his impulse is to gravitate to the worst of them. Lindsey Graham's of the world, the neocons. And then attack arguably some of the better of them, like Thomas Massie. There you go. Probably the only person saying anything good in the Trump administration, J.D. Vance. He's got to go. You can't make it up. Technocrats need to go. Elon had to go too, right? There you go. Bring back Mike Pence, right? Amazing. All you have to do is say words like Palantir, Peter Thiel, and people can't wait to fight themselves and be like, J.D. Vance is the worst. Really, give me his exact policies he's pushed for you didn't like, or even his rhetoric that you didn't like. Can you name me the politician you would rather see in that position as VP that doesn't have connections to someone in social media or some billionaire? So we have J.D. Vance, who seems to be the only person that's like, yeah, we need to focus on American workers. Yes, young people have reason to be upset because of this economy. Yes, we're doing things to try to improve it. And then you have people like, people in Trump's cabinet are Russian spies. And J.D. Vance needs to go. Bring back Mike Pence. That'll do it. Take the polling for what it is, but I was reading a bigger poll done today of a bunch of prominent U.S. politicians. J.D. Vance was the most favorable of everyone listed. Chuck Schumer was the least. But yes, get rid of Vance. Get rid of Vance for DeSantis. I know this is going to blow your mind, but do you know there are wealthy people around DeSantis as well? DeSantis ain't even going to take the VP position. And talk about completely shooting yourself in the foot and ruining all political capital to dispel with your VP because, well, a couple people online like Fight Sports Talk that think that Tulsi Gabbard's Russian think that J.D. Vance has connections to Palantir, so we need to get rid of him. That'll do it. So that's the problem with Trump. He's listening to the Lindsey Grahams. He's listening to people like Fight Sport Talk. That's who he's listening to. He's listening to the Republicans that are like, Tulsi Gabbard's a Russian. We can't be too favorable to Russia. Keep sending weapons. Keep sending money to Ukraine. We must fight the Russians. Like Fight Sports Talk. Get rid of J.D. Vance. Don't listen to J.D. Vance. Lindsey Graham, Fight Sports Talk. Those people. That's who he's listening to. That's why you're seeing the deficiencies. It's not just Israel. That's a problem. I personally would have liked to have seen DeSantis in office over Trump, is my opinion. Nonetheless, now to the Republicans. Can someone tell me one thing they've done? If I'm trying to be generous, here's what I could come up with. The Republicans had the House and Senate, while their person had the presidency. So they don't have to worry about vetoes. Here's, to my estimation, what they've accomplished. They recently passed a do-nothing bill that just said, we condemn socialism. Okay, they did that. Let's see. Signature stuff that they did. Now, I know that someone's going to be like, well, we could look, they did more. But part of it is the lack of messaging. That's a big part of it. So what have they done? Surely there's been some appointments and etc. that they've accepted. Okay. They passed the big beautiful bill, a huge spending bill that we were told spent a lot of money and basically raised the debt ceiling. But that was because we needed to do so that we would deport people. And then basically Trump made excuses by we can't deport large swaths of people like illegals working on farms or in battery factories, etc. Okay? They passed this continuing resolution that was literally just a copy paste of the previous CR under Joe Biden. Anything else? Any legislation that you could think really matters? Did they, any of Trump's executive orders, did they enshrine in legislation? No, nothing really on the border. No, nothing really on like tariffs or any economic stuff like that. Don't recall any of that. No. They kept in the blue slip rule to ensure that Democrats could subvert and not allow the appointment of many key people in Trump's administration. They haven't fulfilled appointing a lot of vacancies for judges and things like that. They push very hard for censoring people that are critical of Israel. That they've done, many of them. Okay. Fair enough. So it seems like they haven't done much legislatively. Fair enough. But what about setting the narrative? Surely they've done a good job with that. Surely they've gone a full court press on the attacks against ICE and ICE agents. Nah, haven't really done much on that. Okay, but this is an easy one. Surely they've been hyper-focused on the assassination of one of their most crucial activists in Charlie Kirk. Nah, haven't done much on that either. Okay. How about this one? Did you know that roughly, what's the number? 1/4? Am I right about this? Let me find this. 1/4 of U.S. senators in the Biden administration that were Republican were basically spied on. Do you know that? They doing a good job there? Nah, not really. Grassley will put a tweet out here and there that reaches, I don't know. Let's see. How many tweets did this one reach? There you go. Senate advice gives to Jack Smith's team for Biden's former public integrity section. In 2023, Smith is warned there are constitutional guardrails for subpoenaing members of Congress, but Biden DOJ gave him the green light anyways. At least 1/4 of my Republican Senate colleagues were targeted. Shameful. Ron John, that reached 1,000. Ron Johnson more than doubles that. Holy smokes. 2,000 says, Chuck Grassley and I received documents from Pam Bondi showing DOJ officials searching for any pretext to target their political opponents, including me and my colleagues. Jack Smith conducted a massive partisan dragnet aimed at crippling the Republican Party and eliminating political opposition. These records are only the tip of the iceberg. Oh, okay. Well put. Of course, no one fucking knows or cares because you guys are incapable of setting any sort of narrative whatsoever. In fact, the people that were able to reach Trump's base in the media sphere, like Tucker Carlson, you've spent the last 3 months shitting on because you interviewed someone you didn't like. Sure, every now and again you'll go on CNN and get interviewed by Dana Bash and be incapable of cracking into the mainstream. In fact, hilariously, the only person it seems capable of having any inroads whatsoever through the current sort of types of communication you need to reach sort of the Trump type base and even independents, etc., that voted for him is J.D. Vance, who, as you can see, there's a strong push to end. Okay, fine. They've done a poor job narrative-wise when it comes to the targeting of Republicans. Surely, though, their legislative agenda reflects the severity of this. I mean, after all, huge swaths of them were just targeted. So they're no longer playing games with Democrats, right? And allowing Democrats to hold up votes and things like that. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they're still doing that. They haven't done shit. Now, let's read some super chats real quick. And reminder, please get those super chats in. Bandit got 3 in a row. $2 says good or bad. They all need to go. Anarchy. And then another $2 Bandit says Republicans have covered for Lindsay's ladybugs. And then finally 5 says the number one priority for the GOP is making sure Lindsey Graham's mom doesn't find out he prefers the company of men. This is my opinion on the matter. I think Trump means well, and I think the key members of Trump's administration mean well, like J.D. Vance, Tom Homan, Scott Bessent, maybe Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. I don't know. And I think through bad appointments, blunders, unforced errors, intentional stupidity, misplaced priorities, that they're leaving a lot on the table. The Republicans in Congress, however, key people enough to make the body as a whole irrelevant because you need almost all of them pushing in the same page since their majority isn't that significant. Key people within there actually fucking hate Donald Trump and his constituents. They hate him. The reason that they don't want to proceed to do things that could actually, go after the people that targeted Republicans, Trump, etc., is because they don't want to, because they were happy with that targeting, because they hate Trump. Because the truth of the matter is, they never gave a shit about the constituents of Donald Trump. They liked having power. The Republican Party is more than happy to be the minority power as long as the neocon type class is the ones in the position of power. More than they want to beat the Democrats, they want to beat the populist right. And so they're happy to have Trump's administration sabotaged. And they're salivating. And that every loss that he gets, and the more unpopular that he gets, the better the chance for them to take back over the party and get back to doing nothing. Doing what they do best, agreeing with Democrats on all the important shit that fuck you over. Selling out the working class in this country. That's what they give a shit about. That's it. This is why I said, people were pushing, end the filibuster, there's no chance. Why would Republicans in the Senate end the filibuster? The only effect that would have would be exposing that the Republicans in the Senate don't want the Trump agenda passed. Right now, they can say it's not our fault. We need Democrats. And they won't come on board. If the filibuster wasn't there, then we'd have to say, okay, you guys control the Senate. Why can't you get shit done? And they'd be like, no, we don't have enough. We don't have 50 Republicans. Trump doesn't understand the game, in my opinion. Trump is the type of dude that thinks, hey, it's politics. You say shit, you do shit. No worries. Life moves on after the next election cycle. He hasn't realized the game. They're going to try to kill him. They're going to try to throw him in prison. They're going to try to throw his family in prison. He hasn't realized the game. He thinks he can still talk nice to Schumer and Pelosi and company. He can have Mamdanian. Hey, come on in, buddy. Sure, call me a fascist. You don't get it. And by the way, this is one of the reasons that I supported both Vivek and DeSantis over Donald Trump. Now, Vivek's fallen off. Vivek's commentary on H-1Bs were terrible. I still think that Vivek's far more good than most of the Republicans. I think he's a bad choice for governor of Ohio for reasons I can get into at a later date. But I don't think he would be bad in a purple state or in Congress or Senate. But as governor of a red state that has a lot of sort of blue-collar workers, I don't know that I want the dude that's out there from India basically like, please, let's have an excuse for why Indians are better workers than Americans. I don't know that that's a good choice in Ohio. At this point, DeSantis is looking like a peach compared to the three of them. But the downside to Trump was the same as his upside. Trump exposed himself in his first term of not understanding what the stakes were. He had his opportunity to drain the swamp, and instead he surrounded himself with people in the swamp. That's who Bill Barr was. That's who John Bolton was. So the downside is, why would I prefer him over someone like DeSantis? Or for that matter, Vivek. Vivek's talking about, let's get rid of the fucking FBI. Great. Trump was like, let's build them a big, beautiful new building. What? DeSantis was like, well, let's move the headquarters out of D.C. Better than Trump's response, but not very good. Get rid of the FBI to replace with H-1B. But the upside of Trump was maybe now that they tried to throw him in prison, maybe now he'll be like, you know what? I understand the stakes. And then it was like, they tried to assassinate him twice. Oh boy. They got a mugshot of him. Oh man. Now he's going to be on fire, right? And right back to 2016 Trump. And that's it. If we're completely honest, that's what's occurred. He's relying on people like Pam Bondi. Is Pam Bondi incompetent? Or is Pam Bondi corrupt? I don't know. What's the fucking difference at this point? She sucks. So that's it. Trump's reverted back to first term Trump. I'm not under any belief that the swamp will have anything done to it in a political sense. Republicans are going to try to stymie Trump, if not just ignore it. Trump's team, they'll be able to get some obligatory fucking charges that they'll do amateurish and at the last minute that won't result in any sort of jail time for anyone. That's basically it when it comes to that. So it's time to blackpill, right? No, not at all. First off, what good's blackpilling? Get that nihilistic bullshit out of my channel. No time for that. Let's start at the very baseline for why you shouldn't blackpill. And it's things I say a lot, but let's start there. God is good. Whatever you think of the direction this country is going, you live in a country that throughout human history and sort of the misery that humans have gone through, things are pretty fucking good. Think of all the places and times you could have been born and it would have been much worse. Hopefully you have family, you have friends in real life. If not, you have us here. You have a community here. I have this belief. Well, before I move on to that, and things are never as bad as they seem in the moment. Now, eventually they will be. There will be a time that it'll be unrecoverable. But that's true of any empire in history. Any great civilization has collapsed eventually. I'm not saying it'll be Mad Max here, but. And look, things are grim. If you're white, you're going to continue to be a minority. I was reading today by 2050, they expect less than 50% of this country to be white. It's been about a 10% drop in the past 10 years, I believe. Whites will significantly be a minority in the world. There won't be a place in Europe or something you can go to. And you might say, well, who gives a shit about that? Well, it's fine if you don't give a shit. I barely give a shit myself. But people that hate whites will give a shit. So that's depressing. Same with Christians. That sucks. Things aren't over. We talked about this premonition called in today. People used to say this, imagine existing when the Moors were taking over Spain and like Southern Europe. And then all but a handful of Christians drove them out over a century. Things aren't over. Even when it comes to the current political cycles and current administration, anything can happen. A pro and a con of our current system is the news cycles change so fast that oftentimes what seems like the biggest deal in the world one week is all but totally forgotten the very next. So I get blackpilled. Who the fuck knows what next week holds? And more important than the political movement would be the cultural movement. And the truth is, culturally, people are becoming more and more awake to sort of what's going on in the corruption. So I don't think it's time to blackpill at all. And then the other thing to say is, I've said this, I'm like a broken record on this, but I've been saying this since Trump's first term. Trump is someone that uniquely could be pressured by his base to change course. And maybe that occurs. And then the final thing to say about this is I'm always more motivated to work harder when things look worse. So for me, I'm motivated. I want to work harder. Do I think Republicans are about to get trounced in 2026? I do. I definitely, if you look at history, if you look at sort of not just the polling, which certainly you should take with a grain of salt, but also just anecdotally the vibes that I feel. Some of the people that were everything with Trump's first term, everything about Trump in the Biden administration, stuck with Trump, would have crawled over broken glass. I'm seeing people that are just like, I'm tired. I'm tired. When do I get mine? When do my people get? Israel has a good ally in Trump. We're bombing Iran. The people that want to help Ukraine, they got a good ally in Trump. What about us? Neocons seem very happy. The Lindsey Grahams of the world, very happy. What about us? What about the core MAGA base? When do we get ours? When do we get that guy that was going to look out for us? When are we the priority? I don't know. But nonetheless, it motivates me to work even harder. Junior Coltrane saying earlier, my CNN talking points, talking division. Far from it. In fact, I heavily criticized the fact that Republicans are busy infighting about, what about fucking Tucker Carlson? Oh my gosh, Nick Fuentes and all this bullshit. Absurd. The left wants you dead. Then they're going to mock you. My criticisms of Trump are, let's go. Let's go. That's not coming from a place of anger. That's coming from a place of saying it's time to get to work back home. I'm not buying this. Well, it's only been 10 months. Those people with that mentality, can you tell me what month that I can start to be like, someone? This was the exact argument that I heard for 4 years under the first Trump administration. Yeah, that's fine, Junior Coltrane. I don't mind. During the first Trump administration, I'm doing video after video of how shitty Bill Barr is. And I'm like, Bill Barr is going to let them get away with fucking attacking Trump and basically making Trump all but hamstrung in his administration, in the first administration. And back then, it was the QAnon people. Trust the plan, they would say. They'd come in. I probably at one point had just as many trust the plan folks in my audience as the people like, huh? Trust the plan, trust the plan. They're telling me in the chat, trust us. Bill Barr's about to bring the hammer down right before the election. Trump's going to win 48 states. I was like, are you fucking crazy? It's too late. Trust the plan, trust the plan, trust the plan. Then Trump loses and they're like, all part of the plan, you see, my friend, because now Trump, he got the evidence. He got the evidence that they stole the election. And now the Supreme Court's going to see the evidence and they're going to roll on it. And I was like, yeah, man, there's zero chance that the fucking Supreme Court's going to overturn the election. Nah, you'll see. You'll see. Trust the plan, Rob. Okay? Well, how'd that work? But it was all part of the plan, Rob. 4 years of the Biden administration. Crazy inflation. Record illegal immigration. All part of the plan. See? Trump won again. Now he got all the evidence. He was gathering evidence for that 4 years. Oh, go fuck yourself. Bullshit. It's the same thing here. Instead of the constituents of Trump saying, Trump, you're fucking up. Why all this focus on foreign policy? Right back here home. Let's do some shit. Yes, I understand. Trump can't do everything on his own. But for goodness sakes, instead of attacking Thomas Massey every day, which fine, you want to attack him, fine. What the fuck ever. But can we reserve some of that for, I don't know, the fucking Republicans in leadership that haven't done a damn thing? Can we get something there? So that's it. It's not time to blackpill. Now's the time to push for our values even more. And guess what? If we lose in 2026 and then we lose in 2028, you think it's time to blackpill? No. And is it possible that the eternal optimist like myself, that will always refuse to blackpill, that theoretically, if you could see outside a grand scope of things and you had the ability to see into the future, that there will be a point where someone could say, but you see, Rob, you did this stream on July 13th, 2029, where you were like, I'm not going to blackpill, but that was the very day that it was too late, that nothing could be done. The chain of events that led to that moment would make sure that no matter what we did to try to reverse it from that point forward, it was all over. Yeah, hypothetically, that could happen someday. And I wouldn't know in my preceding days, still fighting the good fight, that it was already too late. And yet, I'll still fight. Not through violence. I feel you, Fight Sports Dog. So you won't see me blackpilling. The truth is, when we have big election losses, you won't see me crying like you saw Democrats. You don't see that. Proof's in the pudding. Go back and watch my live streams on election night 2020. Go watch me when I thought the big red wave that didn't really occur in 2022. Go watch me then. Go watch me, granted, a smaller election, but here in 2025. There a couple weeks ago, that election. You tip your cap to the people I think fucking hate me, and you say, okay, you won this battle. I'm going to keep moving forward. No excuses. That's that. So, I wanted to do this today because I got tired of, what I saw was a bunch of people correctly pointing out things that they could be critical of Trump and just saying, that's it. I don't think it is. I don't think there's a reason to blackpill at all. Are Republicans faltering? Absolutely. Is it time to blackpill? No. We're just getting started. And if the current crop of Republicans are shit, fine, we'll do it without them. And if the next crop of Republicans are shit, then we'll do it without them too. Some more super chats, and please get those in. Our good friend Bruce. $5 says, like the shirt, Rob. Oh, yeah. The merch store should be up soon. You should be able to buy with these. Unforced Ego, $20 says, trust the plan, always chimp. Yeah, there you go. Finally, some salient words. Now, I'm going to get up and go to the restroom an hour and 5 minutes into the show. A new record for my old man bladder needing to be relieved. Yay! But I'll leave you here with our friend Cher. That I'll do. And then I'll be right back. And we'll grift a little. And then I'm going to play the video that I wanted to play for you from Catherine Herridge and Kash Patel. Be right back. Get him, Cher.
And Avarice, who has invaded the show. Now he's in the bathroom and he doesn't even know I've come out. You saw
Yes,
nothing.
Chair. Oh, Chair was a little askewed. Maybe not giving everyone the view they were looking for. Good gracious. Chair. Because Race Car, $10, says bring back the Glizzy shirt. Hey, baby, it was at DebateCon. I wore it down there. Crispy. Thanks so much, my friend. $5 says read John 14, everyone, especially if you're feeling black-pilled. It's great advice. I guess increasingly religion comes up. How could it not? But I don't really talk about don't be black-pilled exclusively from the perspective of, Avarice rated the stream. I was going smart. From the perspective of Christianity. I think there are arguments to be had outside the scope of that. But if you are a Christian, you know the end, right? We don't give up on this world. We do what we can first, primarily. If you're a man, you do what you can to provide for your family, to be a good husband, to be a good father. If you're a woman, to be a good wife, to be a good mother. If you don't have children or you're not married, to be a good son, to be a good daughter, a brother, a sister, a good neighbor. We try to leave the world a better place. Be an upstanding member of your church. You don't give up because you know the ending, that you end up in eternal paradise in heaven. You continue to push to make this world a better place, but you do know the ending, right? So what's there to be black-pilled about? Our good friend old Joe, $5 says, Rob, would you consider viewing and then reviewing Sam Harris' comments on trigonometry? Claimed right wing is more violent and no lefty celebrated Kirk. We briefly talked about it the other day without playing the video, but yeah, I would consider that. And then look at this. Thank you so much, old Joe. What an absolute legend. $183. Says Mr. Noor, what did you do to upset the algorithm this evening? P.S. Thanks for introducing me to Andrew Wilson. Watched his debate versus counterpoints last night. It was masterful. Andrew Wilson is fantastic. I upset the algorithm because all my friends are streaming right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up, though, for Unforced Ego. What a Chad. Taking us to the goal. Let's do it. I'm going to try to get to at least 20 minutes or seconds here. 20 minutes. All right, here we go. Go. Yeah, not happening. I chickened out at 10 seconds because I knew I was going to start wavering at like 13. Nonetheless, Unforced Ego, thank you so much. What an absolute Chad. Thank you so much. Now, doesn't mean that we can't push right through that 357 barrier and go for 200% tonight. We could do it. Soul winner for Jesus. Thanks so much. $5 says, Rob, what do you think of Rand Paul? There's a rumor about him wanting to run for president in 2028. I like Rand Paul. I do. And the libertarian adjacent perspective of me was a huge fan of his father and continues to be a supporter of his son. The problem is, I don't know that adhering to sort of his libertarian-esque principles would be sufficient to do anything about the corrupt nature of our country and these institutions. He might say, nope, those are powers. I can't wield that. Nope. And he would just be stymied because he wouldn't have anybody that would be on his side. So, but I would vote for Rand Paul. You can certainly do way worse than him. My primary choice now going in to 2028 for Republican candidate, I think that J.D. Vance is the clear frontrunner. Now, that could change. If Trump becomes historically unpopular by the end of his term, then some of that's going to rub off on the VP. So, but Vance has to be the frontrunner. And I think that regardless of what you think of Peter Thiel and Palantir, Vance is very intelligent and he's masterful at communication. Right? If not him, I think it's got to be Ron DeSantis that's the frontrunner. Those have to be A and B at this point. So, but Rand Paul would be someone that could be a potential. I could see Rand Paul fitting in possibly a DeSantis administration. That's sort of my feelings on it, though. Vance President, Alex Jones VP. I don't think that's going to happen. There was something else I wanted to check. All right. Let's do this video. Let's do it. Now, I'm a big talker, so we'll see how this goes. But it's a 27-minute video of Catherine Herridge, who is fantastic. And she sat down and interviewed Kash Patel. We're going to put it on 1.25 speed because I feel like it. This occurred two hours before the story of James Comey's indictment being removed. So that doesn't really come up here. But I think this is important. Hearing straight from the director of the FBI's mouth. Now, I got to be honest. My expectations were low with this interview, and they were fulfilled, the low expectation, because you know what let me just ask you, for those that haven't seen this, a question will come up like, what about the January 6th pipe bomber case? What's Kash Patel, as the director of the FBI, going to say? Anyone? If you followed this stuff as long as I have, you know what's going to be said. What do you think Kash Patel is going to say when he's asked about the January 6th case? Pipe bomb case. Close. Mr. White's close. He's going to say there's an ongoing investigation. I can't say much. So get ready to hear that over and over again. He's going to say that over and over. What about... There you go. EOD nails it. So get ready. You're going to hear that a lot. Charlie Kirk assassination. Trump assassination. So there'll be little snippets, but yeah, you're going to hear that a lot. So anyways, here we go. I'll pause it when I feel necessary.
We sat down for an exclusive interview with FBI Director Kash Patel. No topic was off limits. There's a lot of news in this interview, from the Epstein files to the Russia collusion investigations and the escalating conflict with Venezuela over drug trafficking. As we were finalizing the video for release, the news broke that Director Comey's indictment was dismissed. We want to be fully transparent about the timing of our conversation with Director Patel because there's so much news in that conversation. So let's get straight to the point. Director Patel, thank you for speaking with Straight to the Point. When you arrived here at FBI headquarters 9 months ago, what did you find?
Catherine, it's great to be with you. Thanks for coming here to FBI headquarters and sitting down with us. When I first got to the Bureau, I knew I would find one thing for sure, and that is a dedicated workforce to the mission.
I'm sick and fucking tired. I'm so right out of the gate. This is so disappointing. Do I assume that there are great agents in the FBI, many of which have put their life on the line? Sure. I'm sure that's true. But I'm tired of, it's almost like the old cliche, like the virtue saying, well, first off, let me say, I'm not a racist, but fuck you. We don't need this. Oh, first and foremost, let me just say how all these people are great at the FBI. How about it's a corrupt fucking organization you found that used its authority to go after the duly elected president of the United States? How about that? Let's start with that. If it's such a great organization, Mr. Patel, have you still reinstituted the FBI whistleblowers that were punished under the Biden administration? As of a couple months ago, you hadn't. So I'm so tired of this obligatory, well, most of the people here are great at the FBI. Fuck that. Most of the illegals are great. Fuck you. Not saying that he says that, but I'm so over this bullshit virtue signaling.
I also knew I would find things that need to be fixed and changed and addressed in terms of how we prosecute and investigate cases, in terms of how we treat the workforce and how we care for them. This building, for instance, our infrastructure systems, all these things that a place like the FBI needs to be functional have to be serviced. And I knew I would find a lot of those matters in disarray, unfortunately, because of years of neglect.
Ah, the building. Yes, that's the real issue. That's why they were corruptly going after Trump. The building needs updated. Now listen, I also know that he has to placate people within the FBI. If he's viewed by the people in the FBI as the enemy, they're less likely to cooperate when it comes to talking about corruption of the previous administration. Understand that. But come on.
What did you consider your most important change so far?
The most important change for me is the focus that we put on moving this mission to the field and empowering our SACs and our leaders in the field. That's why when we first got here, we immediately set out to redeploy over 1,000 agents into the field from Washington, D.C.'s National Capital Region. I found out that our 36,000, 37,000 person strong workforce in the NCR, the National Capital Region, had almost a third of the workforce. But most of the crimes were being committed outside of the NCR. So we moved them out, and I can proudly report today that we've successfully moved out nearly the entirety of the 1,000, and we'll finish that in January. So every field office in the country is getting a plus up of agents, and they're going to be followed by intel analysts and support staff, and we're empowering our SACs, our field leaders, to do the work in the field.
So it's not, well, corruption at the FBI, the most powerful law enforcement agency in the United States, has been used as a tool by the institutions in power to sabotage politicians they don't like, most notably Donald Trump. And so here is what we've done to hold those people accountable and to ensure that this stuff doesn't happen again. Nope, it's, well, we've put people in the field. That's what we've done. We've put people in the field. There you go. Now, where do you think the priorities lie?
Multiple lawsuits have been filed alleging that there were terminations here at the FBI and they were politically motivated. Were the FBI terminations politically motivated?
No. And since those are all ongoing matters, I will say this definitively. If you were terminated as a result of any matters during my tenure at the FBI, it was done because there was just cause to do so. And we will speak to that just cause through our pleadings.
One of the big cases you inherited is the attempted assassination of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. What are the findings?
So as you know, Catherine, we've been briefing the president constantly on this matter, and he's very satisfied with it. And I understand the public's desire for...
Trump's satisfied. Okay, great. Trump's satisfied. And the public wants to hear more. So what do you got for us, Kosh? Now, everybody shit on Tucker Carlson because remember, up until like Tucker's expose the other day there, what we were basically told was Thomas Crooks, that's his name, right? I'm getting that right? Or am I screwing it up? What was the name of the asshole? Robinson was the one that supposedly shot Kirk. Thomas Crooks, he didn't really have an online presence. And then all of a sudden it broke. Actually, he did have a big online presence. So let's see what he says. The public has an interest, but
more and more information. But when we came in, our job was to both treat the president as the president of the United States and a victim, and remind the American public that there were 3 other victims, and tragically one person even lost his life. So there are certain victims' rights that we have to honor. But what we did and what we presented and what we released is the full findings that we were able to publicize to the world that definitively answer questions regarding Butler. We seized dozens and dozens of devices. We exploited and got into every single one of those devices.
Then why was it not officially being released to the FBI, the online presence of Thomas Brooks? Why did we have to get it through independent media? Why did that have to occur? What was the reason to hold that back? Because Trump's the victim? What does that have shit all to do with anything?
We got onto all the online platforms and social media sites of the assailant of Crooks, and we did a recanvassing just to double down since we got in and inherited this case. And we gave out information to Congress and the public that the prior administration refused to do.
Just to be clear,
wow, what a fucking high bar that is, right? Well, we gave out little scraps that the prior administration didn't. Oh, okay. Now, let's assume that everything's on the up and up with everything that Kosh is going to say here. Let's assume that for a minute. Does he not understand? He's the one who came in before he was there. He talked about the corruption at the FBI before he was appointed as head of the FBI. Same with Dan Bongino, right? Now that they're there, can they not understand that the public still believes that there's a lot of corruption? And so you think he would be like, of course, we understand. Why the fuck should you trust us? You shouldn't. So we're going to do our best to be as transparent as possible. Instead, it's more of the same. Well, we released a couple more scraps than the previous administration, but trust us, bro, it's all on the up and up.
Thomas Crook's act alone.
Yes, based on the evidence that we have, that is the conclusive finding of the matter.
Is there evidence of foreign involvement?
There, as we indicated in our public disclosures, Thomas Crooks had some online platforms where he engaged through email with a couple of individuals overseas, and we chased those down literally to the end. And basically, it was just that online email accounts overseas without any substantive communication.
What was Thomas Crook's motive?
He, as has been publicized, had a basically hateful relationship with the United States government, talked disparagingly about both political parties, to include President Trump, and talked about the need to take matters into his own hands. And unfortunately, that's what he did.
Yes, he disliked both political. Very good, Cash. Very good. Very good. Well, there you go. He disliked Republicans and Democrats. That's why he shot at Trump. There you go. Nothing to see here. Yes, yes. Right? But wait, can we get a report from him then? Right? Or someone in the Trump administration, a definitive report on the failures of the Secret Service? Can we get that? You remember the whole, well, he was on a sloped roof and we can't get on sloped roofs. Remember that shit? Remember that?
Director Wray, were there missed opportunities to stop Thomas Crooks?
You know, that's a question you'll have to ask him. Part of what we're doing is providing the information to the American public, and most importantly, Congress, to get to the...
You're not providing shit to the American public. We're getting more from people like Tucker Carlson than you.
American public, so they can answer those questions. We weren't there when it happened. We weren't responsible for the investigation. We don't know what happened and why those decisions were made, but we're doing what we can to clean it up.
We're not going to make a stance on whether or not the FBI had prior knowledge to Thomas Crooks. Nope, I'm not going to tell you that.
What explains the discrepancies and confusion over Crooks' online activity?
Look, I think, Catherine, you know this, in media, everyone's entitled to their opinion and everyone's entitled to put out whatever they want to put out. But what we, the FBI, are not entitled to do is trample over your First Amendment rights. And so while people are asking why the prior administration didn't find Thomas Crooks earlier, and it's a valid question, by the way, one, you can ask the prior administration, we weren't here, but two, this FBI or any FBI doesn't have the ability to go out and monitor, nor should it, people who are on YouTube or on social media platforms or on email platforms. And we have to balance both the criminality, if there is such, versus the First Amendment protections, which we must adhere to.
You mentioned earlier.
That wasn't the question. The question wasn't, you guys don't know who Catherine Herridge is? Catherine Herridge was at CBS, was basically let go because she was one of the only good reporters there. She's someone that was critical of Russiagate from the get-go. One of the only mainstream media people working on network television that was actually pushing back against a lot of these stories about Trump working with Russia, et cetera, et cetera. Very good journalist, Catherine Herridge is. The question that he was asked is, why is there discrepancy based on what the FBI has released into the public about Thomas Crooks' online presence versus what other people in the media have done? That's basically what she was getting at. And his response is, well, we have to be careful not to trample on the First Amendment. How the fuck at this point is that trampling on the First Amendment? The dude's dead. She's dead. Or he's dead. So how's that a violation of his First Amendment? Say, here's the evidence we have of his online social media presence. So again, it's answers like that you're like, yeah, I don't trust this dude. What the fuck is this? That's clearly not what she was asking.
Clear that you've been briefing President Trump. Is President Trump satisfied by the findings?
Yes.
No more questions.
No.
Is the Thomas Crooks...
Well, that's a big fucking mistake then. If that's true, and Trump is like, yep, I'm satisfied, nothing more here. Let's assume that it's true. Everything we've been told, Thomas Crooks is the only person. Trump's satisfied. Wrap it up in a nice little bow. Time to move on. Still, the Trump administration incapable of talking about this in a way that illustrates just how dangerous it is that the Democrats are painting him as basically that Austrian painter guy and a bunch of other shit. It's all time to move forward. You think the Democrats are still talking every day about January 6th? Terrible.
Case, a closed case.
How we treat cases like this of such great public importance is we put them in a pending/inactive status. So if there's new information that comes in, we can receive it and react to it, and we don't want to foreclose that possibility.
Democratic lawmakers released a video calling on military personnel to defy illegal orders. President Trump weighed in and called it a seditious behavior. When you saw this, what went through your head?
What goes through my head is the same thing that goes through my head in any case. Is there a lawful predicate to open up an inquiry and investigation, or is there not? And that decision will be made by the career agents and analysts here at the FBI.
Ah, there you go. It'll be made by the career agents. You know, the same ones that were targeting Trump. We'll leave it up to them. Now, granted, that's what he has to say. But does that instill confidence to you?
Is the FBI getting involved?
Based on the fact that it's an ongoing matter, there's not much I can say.
Okay, I want to talk about the Russia collusion cases. Former FBI Director Comey is pushing hard to get his case dismissed. Are you confident the interim U.S. Attorney, Lindsay Halligan, can secure a conviction?
I can't comment on the finality of the case since it's pending and the allegations are before a court for Mr. Comey. But what I can tell you is this Department of Justice under the Attorney General and U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan have been following the facts and the law and making a presentment based solely on that. And the presentation of evidence that was divulged just recently in the pleadings shows the world the substantive information that we have collected when bringing this case and acting on the facts and the law.
You know,
I will admit that obviously this was a couple hours before a judge threw out the conviction. So from the perspective of it literally being a literal ongoing case, I understand that he's very limited in what he could say here. But the truth of the matter, and I know that he's not going to be able to criticize Pam Bondi. I understand that. But it's just an empty platitude. And I think that Pam Bondi's been absolute dog shit. They could have acted on this much sooner. They didn't. Pam Bondi or someone like her could have been in the room when Halligan's filling out this paperwork and filling it out as well to make sure they knew that there was a distinct possibility that Halligan would have been told that she wasn't lawfully appointed, and they didn't. But whatever, that has little to do with Kash Patel, I guess.
respecting that there are ongoing investigations based on your recent congressional testimony, is the FBI pursuing a broader conspiracy that was allegedly designed to undermine President Trump?
We have multiple ongoing matters surrounding that. It's no secret. We can discuss this limitedly because we have divulged it to Congress because we were working with our partners in oversight on Congress who have requested a voluminous amount of information. And what I want the American public to know is the baseline commitment we have to congressional oversight. Director Comey in his 3+ years turned over 3,000 pages of documents to Congress. Director Wray in his nearly 7 years turned over 13,000 pages to Congress. Us, this FBI in 9 months, we're about to turn over our 40,000 pages of documents.
Wow! Holy shit! No way! Wow. Well, 40,000 pages, but there you have it. Man, imagine the strongly worded letter that Lindsey Graham's going to write. 40,000 pages. Holy shit! Lindsey Graham's pen. He better bring out the old fountain pen for this letter he's about to write. Wow! Woo! Man, is it going to be rough. I can't wait. Convictions, charges, policy changes, firings. That's what we want, Kash Patel. Not, well, we've released a bunch of information.
To be clear, are you building a larger conspiracy case?
We are going to continue to follow the facts and the law, and we have multiple teams working on these matters like any other case, and they will decide what to present and what not to present.
Now, again, let me defend Kash Patel a little here as I'm not impressed. I do understand that if Kash comes out and talks like me, then that gives ammunition to the other side to say, well, this guy's not fair and impartial. I get that. So he has to be diplomatic. But nonetheless, when we're not seeing results and then he sits down and gives these sorts of answers, does it inspire much hope? Thank you, Wills, so much. $10. Thank you, man. Much appreciated.
Are the former DNI, James Clapper, and the former CIA Director, John Brennan, and others in the clear?
Well, the FBI is not in the business of exonerating people. This FBI will be in the business of following the facts and the law. And as you've noted, and you followed greatly with our engagement with Congress, a number of these individuals, including the ones you just listed, are being examined. And our scope of that will continue until we reach a finality of a conclusion.
Evidence filed in the Comey criminal case has revealed that earlier this year at FBI headquarters, 5 burn bags were discovered containing sensitive and classified information about the Trump investigations. Have you reviewed the burn bag materials?
So this is a great example of when we first got here, we said we would do our speaking of our FBI work through our pleadings and case file system. This is exactly what we've done in the Comey case. We have presented, everybody's been talking about these burn bags and all this evidence that was found. And there are questions, and there should be questions on why did this room exist with all these burn bags in the first place?
Let me ask you, when you learned about the discovery of the 5 burn bags here at FBI headquarters, what went through your head?
Shock, unbelievable shock that not just one director and his leadership team, but multiple would have information that's supposed to be secured. Some of it's classified, but I mean secured for purposes of record-keeping purposes to keep up with federal statutory requirements, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. And instead, they were deposited in bags listed for destruction. So that was very disturbing. Just that in and of itself, putting aside whatever was in there.
The burn bags were found in room.
Wow, you're shocked. Strongly worded letter coming?
9582. That's a secure facility. I'm told by former agents that it would have some sort of access system or a key card system. Does FBI leadership have a good idea who put the burn bags in that room?
We do.
You know for sure, or you have a good universe
We
of
know.
suspects? You know who put the burn bags there. Okay, what was the intent of the person who put the burn bags in room 9582? Was it to preserve them to be discovered later, or to make sure they were destroyed?
Well, those are the questions we're answering for the public and for this investigation, because not only are we not in the business of not exonerating people, but we're in the business of taking our investigative findings and working with Congress to say, look, even though we did not or did reach a legal conclusion on the matter, this is of such public importance in terms of the weaponization of government that happened, who are people like President Trump were targeted, including myself, and more senators that we just revealed thanks to this FBI's work in uncovering not just the burn bag, but other material related to Arctic.
Now, again, this part's true by Kash Patel. Sometimes what you see is there are things that are corrupt or against FBI policy that don't rise to the level of criminality. And so the director of the FBI is going to be limited in what he could do. And you don't really want this person being the guy that's out there talking about the political ramifications of this. This is why you would want Congress to do something. They can at least control the narrative, and they're terrible. Well, I'm Senator Grassley, and we're gonna go to X, and we're gonna put out a post that no one will read. That'll do it. And by the way, this was the same as the Inspector General Horowitz. If you read his sort of findings when it came to the IG report on Crossfire Hurricane, you could tell if you read between the lines. He was like, what the fuck happened here? And yet, his job's just to be like, technically, is what happened here legal? Yeah. Sometimes no, but almost always sure it's not illegal, even if it's against department policy. But he's limited in what he could do. He could provide recommendations that then people have to act upon, like members of Congress. And they were terrible. And so he's like, okay, what can I do? I was commissioned to do a report. I did the report. The report shows the evidence. Now it's up to the party that says this is egregious to do something about it, and they do nothing. Same thing here.
Frost. What we want to do is find a public forum to display that information. And we believe that until our investigations conclude, we will be limited in what we can produce.
It sounds to me like you know the answer to that question.
I do.
That's what I thought. Okay. A highly classified CIA referral containing intelligence about the 2016 presidential election was also discovered here at FBI headquarters in a storage closet adjacent to the FBI director's office. How many FBI personnel had access to that storage closet?
That's part of this ongoing investigation. And because we are working through that, I don't want to disclose the number of folks or even who had access to it, because that goes to your other question on who put it there and why did they put it there? And were there any instructions associated with them depositing that material in these rooms?
Was that referral about intelligence concerning an alleged Clinton plan to tie President Trump to Russia?
I think the document you're referring to is, one, still classified, so hard for me to comment on, but two, it's also part of this ongoing investigation.
Okay. Am I correct? Based on my reporting, it is a very, very small universe of individuals who had access to that storage closet.
Very small.
Is it in fact only one?
It's very small.
Okay. On the Epstein files, the Epstein Files Transparency Act has a very tight deadline, 30 days to produce unclassified records. Will the FBI meet the 30-day deadline?
Well, we are working with our partners at the Department of Justice to produce, as we've always committed to producing what we can lawfully, legally produce. And we will continue to meet those metrics, reminding the public that there are court orders in place, protective orders, and orders to seal in place that legally prohibit the disclosure of information related to any investigation when there's a court order of that fashion. So we're working with DOJ to say if we can produce anything more.
As FBI director, will you commit to as few blacked out sections or redactions as possible?
We always do. We have in our productions to Congress, which have been historic to this year, and we'll treat every matter in the same fashion while also upholding always victims' rights. Victims' rights in any case, whether it's President Trump's case, this case, or any case, the victims' rights statute.
I mean, what he's saying is technically true. Like, look, he can't go above and beyond what individual judges say. Like, look, you can't release this. It's under lock and key for whatever reason. You also can't put out victims' names or identifying features of victims. That I get, right? But we'll see. I mean, the truth is there's going to be so much bullshit with the quote-unquote Epstein files. Again, as we talked about yesterday on the show, Law and Order, right? It's not as if there's just like manila folders. It's like, there it is. Like, it's nebulous shit that's going to be out there. There's going to be terabytes upon terabyte. Epstein file will include like not only things like flight logs, but emails of people that discussed Epstein, any email. I mean, part of the Epstein files could literally be emails that he had to a contractor working on his house. That could be part of the Epstein files. So I think that inevitably what they're able to release is going to not satisfy the public.
Statutes are preeminent, and we will protect those victims at all costs.
President Trump told your boss, Attorney General Pam Bondi, to look into the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton. Is the probe limited to Democrats, or will you follow the facts wherever they lead?
We'll just follow the facts. It's pretty simple for this FBI.
This administration campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. What do you say to Americans who are skeptical that there will be actual justice under a Trump administration?
Look at the work of this FBI.
We are. And we see jack shit. We see how sloppy it is. How many convictions have we got, FBI? Oh, that's right, 0. Yeah, but it's only been 10 months. Great. Then when we see our first conviction, then we'll say, now we see. Until then, fuck off. How about that? Look, it's not an enviable position. If I'm trying to steelman Kash Patel, and let's assume that he's doing good, right? It's like, yeah, it's unfair that he's going to get lumped in with years and years and years and years and years of nothing being done about it. And people are going to say, same old bullshit. And he might be like, but please, give us time. We promise we'll get around to it. It's fine. I could steelman that and say that that's hypothetically possibly true. But he has to understand from the perspective of the rest of us that we're going to come to that conclusion. Why would it be any different this time? Particularly when we see the same old bullshit. We see Pam Bondi saying, we got the Epstein files, they're on my desk. What Epstein files? They never existed. We see the bullshit with the Lindsay Allegan appointment and her actually trying to do something against Comey and then nothing being done. So again, Patel could be answering this better, being like, I totally get it. Why would you think any differently? And you're right. Let's see what we're able to do. And if we fail, we fail. But I get why people would have that fear, because why not? That's always been the way it is. This corruption runs deep. And no one's ever held accountable. So we're going to try our best. But yes, reserve judgment until we start to get results. And right now, there's been, sadly, not many. We think the reason for that is we're unable to get convictions right now because it takes time to do this stuff. But sure, I understand.
To date, in the 9 months that I've been on this job, we've arrested 30,000 people, 25,000 of which have been violent felons.
Corruption!
Double increase from year to date from the same time period last year. we have taken on our priorities in counter-espionage work to an increase of 35%
Corruption!
more arrests year to date alone. On the drug front, we've seized 1,900 kilograms of
Corruption!
fentanyl. That is a 35% increase from year to date last year. That's just the work of this FBI.
Notice how this is, that's all great, good, grand. The FBI, most powerful law enforcement institution, literally a tool for the establishment to attack the politicians and the supporters of the politician that they don't like. In the words of Chuck Schumer, they'll find 6 ways from Sunday at going after people that criticize them, even the president. That's what we want to see results on. It's clear that that's what Catherine Herridge is talking about. What do you say to the people that are like, yeah, nothing's going to be done? Well, we've arrested drug traffickers. Great! Corruption!
We found 5,400 and identified 5,400 children, missing children. That is a 17% increase from this same time period last year. These are just a few examples of how committed we are to working the criminal cases for the American people, so everyone gets treated the same.
So
no answer on corruption. Nothing. Boy, that spurs hope, doesn't it? I noticed he didn't have any examples of that.
more charges are possible in the Epstein case.
Based on the new referral, we'll take a look at that and see what evidence comes. But there's an important distinction. The information that the government possesses versus the information that the Epstein estate possesses. Those are two separate boxes of information. And the Epstein estate has not been willing to share information with the US government. And so even though we've requested them to do so.
Okay. I want to talk about China. After a recent visit to China, the Chinese Communist government agreed to tighten control or restrict precursor chemicals used to produce fentanyl. Take us inside those negotiations. What was the moment when you knew you had a deal?
So this is one of President Trump's biggest priorities. And when he came in and I came into this seat, he said, we have got to crush violent crime and defend the homeland. And part of doing that is countermanding the wildly, unfortunately successful narco-trafficking campaign against America. And a big piece of that is fentanyl, as we just discussed, which is killing far too many Americans by the tens of thousands. And so on day one, we made it a priority to engage with our Chinese counterparts because the fentanyl precursors are sold and produced in mainland China. And thanks to President Trump's engagement with President Xi and his historic engagement with President Xi, we, and under this FBI, set out on a mission to go to China and meet with my counterpart at the Ministry of Public Security. And literally were welcomed into China and Beijing for the first time in a decade for an FBI director with a specific list of precursors. That's the ingredients that are used to make fentanyl, and a separate list of chemicals that are used to augment the production of fentanyl. And immediately at that table, I knew, based on President Trump's conversation with Xi Jinping and my current conversations with my counterpart, that we had struck an agreement to shut it off when we sat down, and they've adhered to it.
How quickly will you know if China...
I mean, this is all well and good. Great. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, again, I'm not saying that there are, listen, I'm biased. I understand that. Is dealing with child sex trafficking hugely important? Of course. Is dealing with fentanyl hugely important? Of course. But here's the problem. If the agency is rotten to the core, in the way that Chuck Schumer said, that if you criticize them and you're the president of the United States, they will find 6 ways to Sunday at screwing you over. And we can see 8 years of that, of them going after Trump. And it's like, but look at how good we're doing on fentanyl. One, we'll see if you're doing that good on fentanyl. And second, it is sort of negating the most important point.
Is breaking the deal.
We will be able to glean the impact of the deal, not immediately, but in the very near future.
So months, maybe?
I would say a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how we will be able to tell. One, we always have intelligence reporting. And we're always monitoring those committing narco trafficking, the drug trafficking organizations who have rightly been designated as foreign terrorist organizations down in Mexico. We'll look into the intelligence and see, are there reflections? Is there chatter about, can they make fentanyl? Do they have the precursors? Are they going to find artificial substitutes to those artificial precursors themselves? Those would be immediate ways for us to find out. And ultimately, we'll just know from the amount of fentanyl we're seizing and seeing come across the border and into America and how much is being sold on the streets. And so that'll take a couple of months.
Have the consequences of cheating on the deal been communicated to China?
I think that is a higher level decision point that the president and Secretary Rubio are engaging on. There's a matter of tariffs, but we in the FBI are just playing our part under that big deal to make sure fentanyl is off. And I think and believe that the Chinese will keep to their commitment on this because of President Trump's leadership.
On the Charlie Kirk assassination investigation, you testified recently that more than 20 people were on the Discord chat related to the suspect, Tyler Robinson. Have you spoken to those people? Is it now a larger universe of 20 people?
Well, so with the Charlie case, it's a matter that is being led by the state authorities in Utah because it is a homicide investigation that is being prosecuted by the state. So us as the FBI are partners and part of that prosecution team. We're not the lead, and it's very much ongoing. So there is a lot of legal process being doled out, and we are committed to issuing every piece of legal process and search warrant that we can to talk to absolutely everyone and anyone who had anything to do with the assassination of my friend. And we're going to continue to do that and also honor the prosecutor's wishes and how we do that and what we release publicly.
Now, listen, I don't know. I'll be clear. I'm sure that this is primarily a homicide investigation in the state that it occurred. I'm sure he's telling the truth about that. But there has to be some sort of mechanism for involving the FBI even more in a case like this that has clear political ramifications, particularly seeing 2 assassination attempts on Trump's life that predated this. And my fear is what we're going to see is, well, we at the FBI, we relied on, the local state prosecutors. And the state prosecutor, well, we relied on the FBI. And we'll see nothing.
Respecting that it is an ongoing investigation, is there any evidence of foreign involvement? Is there any evidence that Tyler Robinson had help?
Again, that will be spoken through by the prosecutors. If I, as the FBI director, commented on that right now in any way, shape, or form, that would hurt their case. And the worst thing that can happen is the individual who's charged and has his day in court down the road is if we, the FBI, or another law enforcement agency, improperly commented on evidence and gave the defense an unfair advantage during the trial.
In a recent cable news interview with Fox, you said to stay tuned about the January 6th pipe bomber case. Are there new developments we can discuss?
There are new developments. Can we discuss them? Not at this time, but I think you'll be hearing from us soon on it.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Are you closer to making an arrest?
When we took over the FBI, we knew there was a renewed interest in a lot of cases of great public importance. And of course, this one, where it was alleged that someone went to the United States Capitol grounds and planted a bomb to possibly blow up then Vice President Kamala Harris or other Republicans and other Democrats on Capitol Hill, was one we felt important enough to redouble our investigative tactics. And that's what we've done. And like we did in the Comey case, when we made presentations in court, when the American public finds out the presentations we will be making, if we get to a judicial decision, then they will see how much was missed in this case and what we have done. And I hope the American public will realize our commitment to putting out as much information as we can, when we can, on cases of great public importance.
There's been a lot of media reporting about the pipe bomb case recently. Have there been any significant breakthroughs for the FBI in recent days?
Yes.
Of course, I'd like to have a little bit more, but can you share any more? Do you expect that there will be a charge before the end of the year?
My job is to protect the integrity of the investigation, and I know that causes a lot of backlash.
Okay, yes, could it be true that, sure, it's ongoing and so you can't say, of course, that would be true. And yet, how long do we have? We didn't wait to throw in the fucking nonviolent protesters on January 6th, right? To throw their asses in prison. We got results of that clear. And I know that's not Kash Patel's fault, but are we just going to keep being told? We could be at this point next year, Thanksgiving next year, being told, trust us, they're development. And then what, statute of limitations going to run out in that shit too? I'll believe it when I see it.
From some sectors of the online community, but I'd rather speak through our casework in public and be able to assure the American public that we are delivering actual accountability than just sit here and tell you, I think we're going to get them.
The military has conducted at least 21 strikes on alleged drug ferrying boats since September. Is there government data that shows these strikes are reducing the flow of illegal drugs to the United States?
Without question. President Trump's commitment, his work with the Department of War and the intelligence community and the FBI on this matter has been of preeminent importance as we talked about the narco trafficking. We are seeing reflections in our intelligence already, without getting into the details, of the drug trafficking organizations trying to find new routes, scared that they might get, and rightfully so, blown up. And so there has been an immediate impact, and I think this is a decisive decision that President Trump rightly made.
Are you confident there's a direct link between Venezuela and the flow of fentanyl to the United States?
there is a direct link between Venezuela and a lot of transshipment. In terms of what is and isn't being transshipped through Venezuela, a lot of that information is classified, so I can't get into the details of it. But I think this administration has correctly pointed out the amount of overland and over-air transshipment routes and oversea and undersea transshipment routes coming and stemming from Venezuela.
Let's talk about the jet. You flew on a Department of Justice jet to visit your girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, performing at an event at State College. Were any rules broken?
No. And I'm shocked that people would, well, I guess I'm not shocked anymore. This FBI, under my leadership, changed the FBI plane use requirements so that we could save the taxpayer money. I am the only director to ever mandate the use of government airfields. The prior directors utilized airfields like Reagan National to the tune of $4 million for takeoffs and landings. And so I think this is another distraction from the work that we are doing here at the FBI, and the fact that members of Congress are up in arms about it. Why don't we ask them how often they went home during the government shutdown and how much money they spent going home and who they traveled with and how many delegations they had?
Is there a brief update on the status of the new FBI headquarters?
There's a great update. You're here in the old one, which we can confidently say is the old one. We're moving to the Ronald Reagan building, which is just basically across the
that's
street.
great news.
It is a project that people have been trying to accomplish since 2000.
Wow.
And under President Trump's leadership, he saw that this building was unsafe for the workforce.
Right.
And if you guys walk around with your camera crew, you'll literally see netting here that is holding up falling pieces of cement so it doesn't hit employees.
Oh, man. Wow.
This workforce deserves a high-tech, upgraded version of a headquarters building. And the great part is, prior administrations wanted to spend nearly $5 billion on building a new building that wouldn't be completed until 2036. We are taking already appropriated funds in the maintenance of just this building and utilizing instead of the maintenance of this building to move over into Reagan and upgrade it. And we will save over $3.5 billion by doing so. We've already secured and moved into one of the floors over there. And now we have some security assessment work going on. And I hope by the end of next year, we'll have a large chunk of our workforce there. And we'll also consolidate a lot of the wasteful spending on leases in other government programs that the FBI uses in the NCR and come under one place.
Wow, that's great, man. Now the important details being hit. That's great, man. That's great. Thank goodness that this institution, the FBI, that's so corrupt it should be scattered to the four corners of the world, never to be recreated. Thank goodness they're getting new buildings, though. Woo! Haven't done much about the corruption, but hey, I know that we're one of the most hated institutions by the very party that voted my president into office that appointed me. But hey, we're getting a fancy new building. Nice! Shit, we're actually saving you money. We're saving you. By the way, this is one of the things that I always joke with my wife. She'll be like, "Hey, insert anything, like something that we regular get at groceries. Like my guinea pig likes a particular type of lettuce, right? And so my wife will be like, "Oh, it's on sale, so I bought extra." We saved money, and I'm like, "No, we spent more money than we normally would have." We're saving you money by spending billions on a new FBI building. After all, our institution's so great attacking, MAGA supporters. We're so great at going after Trump and his associates. We deserve a new building. She likes romaine lettuce and kale. Yes. It's just surreal.
Final question. Director Patel, I first reported on you over a decade ago when you were a senior staffer on the House Intelligence Committee, 2015, 2016, the Russia collusion allegations. I since left Fox, went to CBS. I'm now working as an independent journalist. If you'd asked me a decade ago, I would not have imagined that we would be sitting right here today. Director, you could have given this wide-ranging interview to any major corporate outlet. Why choose independent journalism?
I'm glad you said that, because your work speaks for itself, and the work that I did as a staffer on Russiagate, the work that you did to educate the world on the ultimate weaponization of government during Russiagate and the abuse and the unlawful practices before a secret court to surveil a political opponent based on political garbage and the lies the FBI presented to that court. Remember what they said about us a decade ago.
Well, that's going to have to be for another interview. But why give the interview to an independent journalist?
Because you were right to put out that information, and I was right to investigate it and put out the facts. And the reason I gave you this interview is because you're committed to putting out the facts and none of the hyperbole, and you've done that your entire career.
Well, thank you, Director Patel. We appreciate the time.
There you have it. Feel better now? Feel better? Oh, all right. Well, there you have it. I mean, I'm sympathetic to the idea that it has to be awful hard to come in and make radical changes in just 10 months as leader of the FBI. I'm sympathetic to that. I am. My goodness, I'm uninterested. I'm uninterested in hearing about what a great job you're doing when we haven't seen any results. Uninterested. Looks like some airline catering workers are protesting outside of LAX right now when people are trying to get to shutting down the roads and stuff. For those that don't know, one of the busiest flight days here, the week of Thanksgiving. So a lot of people maybe missing their flights out of LAX there today because of the airplane caterers. So interesting. I saw protests. I was like, what group is it now? What group's protesting now? That's what it's looking like. So there you have it. There's the big interview with Kash Patel. What do you guys think? Did it make you feel better? Anyone see that? Anyone's like, oh, yes. Now I feel better. I don't see it that way. Again, what did I expect that he would be able to say? I don't know. But not good. GG liked it. Makes him anti-blackpill. Nice. Now, did I miss any? I don't think I'm behind on any. James going over on Rumble says, hey, Rob, the upgraded FBI building will make it easier for them to track and arrest terrorists, aka conservatives, not the communists. So it's very important for Cash to get them a new building. Of course. Their infiltration of Republican senators and MAGA people now will be all the more smooth. Yeah, my wife is making chocolate pies for Thanksgiving. So that's sort of it. Now, is this reason to blackpill? No. One, it's always possible that Cash and the rest of them at the FBI will eventually do something. I wouldn't hold my breath. I would say the overwhelming preponderance of circumstantial evidence and history shows they ain't gonna do shit. They won't. And if they do anything, judges and sympathetic jury pools will make sure no one's really held to account. Am I expected to have some conversations with the extended family this year, politically? Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up, but almost everyone in my extended family is going to be pretty similar to me politically. They're less invested in it. They probably know less of the specifics, but most of them are going to be conservative. I do, on my dad's side of things, I do have at least one aunt that's very much like a super anti-Republican Trump hater. But I think we both know not to talk politics much. And I do love her. She's a great aunt. So it's not a relationship I'm keen to. So we both just know that we're like, okay. But if I'm somewhere and she starts her shit, I'll be like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. So you know. Oh, yes. Don't worry. We'll now get to the grifting portion of the show. We wills. I promise. We're at midnight. So there's all kinds of things we could do. Before we move on, though, if we could get another 20% on the dono board, that'll take us to 125%. That would be great. And I think I know my man Avarice back there. Avarice, you listening? Give me a thumbs. All right. Let's bring Avarice up. Avarice, I think I have an idea.
Hey.
I think I have an idea of to spur some donations here. 2 hours in. The problem is people don't know the show. I think that's the problem. So if only we had something, you know. Oh, wait.
This is the robnoerr Show.
Oh, hey.
It's not the Noir Rob Show. This is my favorite show.
Hey.
Because it is my show. If this was your show,
It's a good way to bring me
you'd probably
in.
like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show.
Let's go, crew.
It's the
There it is.
robnoerr Show.
Man, that was good.
That's it. Pretty
Whoa!
good.
This is the robnoerr Show. It's not the Noir Rob Show. This is my favorite show. Because it is my show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show. It's the robnoerr Show.
Hey, we did it. Oh,
Is
is
this
this again? No. There we go. We stopped it. How you doing this fine evening, Avarice?
Oh, fantastic. I was listening in on the invasion and listening in on Rob. So it was like a twofer for me.
How's the invasion
So-
going?
He's killing it. So, yeah.
Or 2 nights ago, it was funny. Our good friend Jefferson, was I kind of talked like this. Jefferson was going on, and he respected the military, but also was tough. I love the argument that I saw as I was tuning in right before I shut it off. Was this argument where this guy was like, "Well, I served in the military, so I know about the Constitution," and Andrew's like, "But why does that give you any sort of knowledge into the Constitution?" And then
But
someone
we
else.
respect our veterans here.
Well, yes, but and then someone comes in. It's like, I can't believe it's people like you that claim to respect veterans that are shitting on them. No. Like that's like saying if I said, for example, well, I've ran for Congress, and someone says, I think your interpretation of the Constitution's wrong, and I said, yeah, but I've ran for Congress, so shut your mouth. Like you'd be like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with anything? Right? It's the same way. Like
Hold on. But he ran for Congress.
Right.
Hold on.
It's the same way with like being a veteran. It's like, no. I get you. There are a lot of things that being a veteran I would say, okay. Like there are things like sort of military structure, like what it's like to be in a combat situation. All that shit would be like, of course, a veteran's gonna like knowledge of the Constitution. I'm not so sure.
And even in that, you'd want a specific veteran. Like even in combat situation, you would want a combat veteran. You wouldn't want like the guy who did accounting during Iraq, like, who was stuck at like Fort Wright. Like, all right, taxes are done over here. Send it off.
Listen, I had a buddy. He was a decent friend of mine in high school, and he actually enlisted 3 tours. I think he served in Afghanistan before tragically he was killed over there. It's fucking terrible. It's a terrible situation. I think if he's here, he'd be the first to tell you, like, I can't tell you shit about the history of the Constitution of the United States. It's not besmirching it. His bravery's unimpeachable. Like, he's a fucking hero. You know,
we just
but
wanna
that
deal with
doesn't mean
the
that, like, oh, I'm going to trust him. Like, when it's like, no, Rob. When you talk about sort of the history of the Constitution and the framing of what it entailed, you're wrong. And I'm like, oh, really? How so? And he's like, I don't know, but I'm a veteran, so clearly my opinion means more than yours.
I was actually proven wrong today too, because I was like tuning in, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get on and we're gonna grift a little bit, and then I was like, wait, the bar's full. Like, what do I do? Like,
Well, that's
bar.
Well, there's an answer for that.
Everybody.
Is it full? I wasn't really paying
Well,
attention. I didn't
need to-
see it. My eyes aren't quite what they used to
on.
be.
Hold
So I'm not sure if it's full or not. But
I'm just,
wait, no.
shit, I was wrong.
What you saw was that there was. They've done
a
pretty
glitch in the
good.
Matrix.
We're
What I
actually
saw.
only at 28% of our dono goal.
Oh
Boy.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So we still got work ahead of us. Man, I gotta say though, and I want to thank you as well, but I think I can speak for you somewhat on this. I'm so proud of the fact we were able to raise $1,100 the other morning there to send over to the Crucible to help out with feeding hungry families here on Thanksgiving. So I'm very proud of that.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, you guys did an excellent job, and in general, everyone supports me and this channel and the Crucible so fantastically. I can't say enough about it. So thank you
Even
guys.
Mama Avarice came in. For
That's right, she did.
Look at that.
She did. Now, having said that, we're gonna keep squeezing money out of people. Just
Oh, yeah.
the grift continues.
Yeah,
But it is
well-
amazing. It was really amazing.
Oh, we got to keep him full time. There was this fool that said, like, what was that? He was like, 357 was too much. Is
did.
that what it was? He was like,
Yeah. So
it was
like
2
we've been
days ago.
going, we've been going so good here lately on the channel. So it shocked me that not 2 days ago, for months we haven't heard anyone say a peep. There it is, 2 days ago. This guy Austin Hall comes on and says 357 is unreasonable.
Oh,
I mean, I think
Crazy.
I think what he meant to say was 1,357. We'll prove him wrong tonight.
yeah. Well,
We can prove it. We will prove him wrong tonight.
okay.
Now,
Yeah, that wallet invasion is going. We're gonna
That's
prove
right.
right.
Let's-
all the way through. Let's keep this ball.
hey man, here's the deal. I
We
get
did
it.
The first one went through, so I can be surprised.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I get it. Look, and I'm not stupid. Here's the thing. I had a channel, and there are certainly people that would tune into me over Andrew, which is great. But I'm not going to get it twisted. A lot of people tuned into me because of Andrew, and then there's a lot more that are both fans of me and of Andrew. And so a lot of people like the invasion. So, on nights like this, probably have less people watching than normal. That's perfectly fine.
Well, and that's why
The
got
show must
you got
go
the
on, damn it. It
And you had
doesn't
the
bother me.
political. You can do the long political things with
That's
the
right.
long videos, and you actually had the people tuned in for that. While you got the people over, like me, the shit posters over in the invasions, going, "Yes, get them,
Get 'em!
them."
Get him. Yeah, absolutely. So no, it's nice. And for me, I'm going to keep doing the show no matter what, even if it means. Now, last night I did, because I did the Law and Order show early. I was like, here's a good excuse to go to bed early, and it was wonderful. It was everything that I thought it could be. I watched some of the invasion. I'm sorry, no, last night it was the debate. I didn't watch much of Andrew's debate at all from last night. I went to bed early. I watched some Wild Kratts downstairs that was still on the TV. And then I was snuck into bed and everyone was sleeping. And it was wonderful. Sometimes going to bed early, it's like, oh my goodness, this is what it's like to get to bed before 3 a.m. Wonderful.
Oh, look,
Absolutely great.
And I even looked at here. I went and did my invasion. I went live right behind Andrew. So and then I was out, and I'm like, all right, I was back in queue here. So I was like, all right, now I'm here to support Rob. So I get a nice 2-for-1.
Yes. Now,
Um,
listen, I had planned, here was a grift that I had coming up, and I think we're going to do this in December. It's going to be $50 per entry, but you can enter
Okay.
multiple times. And we're going to do, towards the end of December, we're going to do an official dinosaur battle game. And we're going to crown the official winner of the dinosaur battle game. We'll come up with a cool title for the winner.
Oh,
Have you
no
seen
way.
this game yet, though? Have I showed you this?
No.
All right, so here we go. So we'll take, let's say that you were playing and you randomly get this card. You would get Protoceratops. So let's put him in. And
Where's
you'll hear-
Blaster Bot when you need him? I
Oh.
call Blaster Bot's on my team.
Protoceratops. Cretaceous. 75 million years ago. Its name means first horned face. It had a stout horn on its nose for defense.
No.
Oh, wait, no, wait, it gets better.
Forged and
So then
linked to be
he's
less
going to
than
fight. I
space
just
was
randomly
survivors.
picked
The eggs of
Indoraptor.
Protoceratops
So
are
he'll
among
fight
the first
Indoraptor.
dinosaurs. is a Jurassic World hybrid of Indominus Rex and Velociraptor. Indoraptor
All right,
has
so then we hit this button.
Perfect Dino Tool. Protoceratops. Indoraptor. Dino Tool.
Here,
Begin.
No!
listen, watch.
Ooh, vicious slash. We have a winner. Indoraptor.
Hey, Indoraptor for the win! Yes, yes, yes. The name of the toy, I can't remember the name of it. It's like I found it at Walmart. We own two of them.
I picked Blasterbot. He's on my team. This bot picks Blasterbot. This guy picks Blasterbot.
Now listen, but the way it's gonna work is we're just gonna, it's $50 gets you an entry, right? And so I don't know how many cards there are. But let's say you're like, all right, I put my $50 in, then I'll just randomly pull, and this would have been you. You would have got
Triceratops.
Nasada I don't know. Nastoceratops.
Oh
That's
my
who you would have
god.
got. Then we'd write that down. All right, and then we'll go about the show. So $50 would get you that. And then when we finally get to the day of the battle, we'll line up everyone, who their dinosaur was, what their name is, right? And then we go from there, and we'll set the tournament.
Wait,
Now there's
no. I think that they should be able to pick what dinosaur they want.
no, that's no good, because right out of the gate, someone will be like Indominus Rex, and then they'll win.
Wait,
everyone
is
else
there
will
a
be like, I don't
Indominus
wanna-
Rex?
Oh yeah, he's in there.
Wait, okay, well, but then how are you supposed to pick which one you want to go against?
You don't pick which one. Now in the audience, you can guess who you think's going to win, and you can pick your favorites in the audience. But as far as the game itself, no, it's just random choice. So you could the same person could donate $500 and get 10 dinosaurs if they want. But that's going to be the game. And so we're going to start that in December. So we'll do a little grifting where it's like, all right, it's time for the dino portion. Now the other option though is instead of picking the dinosaurs early, you could just put your name in as many times as you want, and then we'll draw the dinosaurs the day of the actual battle. And so you won't know until then what your dinosaur is. I haven't decided which way I'd prefer to do it. But that's coming. And it's coming in December. Now, the other thing is, full disclosure, because I know people get pissed. I've only seen it like twice, but there is possible to have a tie. So I don't know what we do if there's a tie. That'd be crazy. Can you imagine? There'll be people flipping out.
I'm still at a loss for words for the toy. And why
And
we
I
don't
actually have two of those because we had one and then I brought it upstairs. It was my son's. And I brought it upstairs and was like, oh, check this out, everyone. Everyone's into it. And my son flipped out. He's like, why is my toy upstairs? So I had to take it down. So I was like, I'll just buy a second one for me. So I bought this damn thing twice. And then he came up and he saw mine and was like, why is my toy up here again? And I was like, no, that's my toy. And he disagreed. He was like, I disagree. Why would you have a toy? So I tried to explain it. I think I'm just hiding it up here at this point, So it'll be fun. There'll be a lot of controversy, but yeah, we'll get to the now. Of course, Blasterbot. The one day we sort of messed around with this, it wouldn't shock you to know he actually won the little 4-person tournament we had as the prototype tournament. Blasterbot just on random chance won. It was nice. So there you go. That's a grift that I have coming up. So those of you that are interested,
I do love dinosaur grifts. So
get your money, get your wallet out in December. It'll be coming. The Dino Battle.
And we do have to schedule the random DC debate between FTE, Avarice, and your moderation.
Yeah. Now listen. I am actually looking. I can't speak much on this, but I am looking to moderate some serious debates coming up for reasons that will become evident later in the year. So I am going to throw my hat in moderating for reasons, because
so
I
what
think
better
that,
practice than
that's
a
right.
DC
So,
debate?
well, the DC debate will be fine, but I'm also going to be reaching out to other people to see if they'd be interested in coming on my show and debating like political topics, religious topics, etc. So I am going to
Against
try.
me?
What's that?
Against me?
No. It could be like.
Oh.
I mean,
I
it
was
can
like,
be.
I'll filibuster and then
Yes,
mongoloid the whole
yes.
time.
You know, but yeah, that's sort of the plan. I'm gonna sort of get it, practice a little, and then more importantly, get it out on tape. And so I'm looking to get some lefties versus righties to illustrate that it doesn't matter to me when it comes to moderation.
Well, we could have a political debate on like transitioning bad, right? And I'll take transitioning bad while EOD takes transitioning good.
He'd be great. He'd be great at it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's already been transitioning for a while. It's a long path.
I didn't know that.
He's wavy down there getting
Well,
a hold of his dog.
Is that true, EOD? Is it?
No, that's not fucking true. God damn it. No.
They call me the loud one.
That's all right. EOD's hitting it with an exclamation point. No, wrong. That's not true. It's bullshit rumors.
It is. Damn it. It is bullshit rumors. It's good to see you, Avarice. How y'all doing? Welcome in.
Hey, I see you're wearing my shirt.
That's right. I stole this from Avarice. 100%.
Oh, well, how dare you? This
Well,
one
you
I
stole
took-
it.
I took this one from Rob.
It's nice.
Rob.
Looks good on you.
What do you got? What do you got to say for the one you're wearing?
Me? I stole this. I also didn't pay for this. Well, technically, I did pay for this.
It's like I took this one from the box.
But it was from the box, baby. Yes, I can wear this shirt. Like, I think I got like 7 of them that will fit me, the 2X. So I could wear it every day and have people accuse me of wearing dirty shirts. And I'd be like, no, we're good.
No,
We're still
don't do
good. We're
that.
still
Okay,
good."
so here's what you do, Rob, is you wear it for like 3 days and then you put those aside and you sell those on the OnlyFans. That's what you got to
Oh,
do.
it's it. Yes, with my unwashed. Yeah, no thanks. Now, I do think that I was talking to both of you sort of about the merch website. I think that they're optimistic that could be up by early next week, which would be nice. We could then go through it here on stream and people could order whatever they like. I do have to talk to him about pricing and things of that nature. So he said, though, he's working on the back end of it right now, and then we'll have that talk. Sort of, I mean, I don't know. I think he's making a mistake because I don't know that this dude's going to want to call me like Thursday, Friday. I mean, it is Thanksgiving. And who could blame him to be like, yeah, man, I sort of had other things going on. I wasn't really prioritizing, you know.
Can we like convince him to do one more design where we get like one, like the black one, but then with like the Joker orange paint that says "Hi, I'm Avarice" across it?
Now now I know he's open to new designs. He's definitely open to that.
Yeah, with the Joker spray paint. "Hi, I'm Avarice," like right across it. Like it's a Joker, like right across the black one.
It might be a top seller. It could be. We don't know. So it's worth looking into. That'll be coming. We were.
I mean, I
my
know
idea
I'd
was to have basically we're gonna have a cup that's gonna be. I think it's gonna be similar to this, right? So this is my Vanderlei Industries cup, but it'll be something like this. It'll probably be this logo, right? Then obviously the shirt, hoodie, and hat that we already saw. The hat will probably just have one logo. I would assume the hoodies. Either we could just have the one logo we already have, or we could do like we're gonna do with the shirts, which we planned on 3. Logos. So there's this one and then 2 others. I thought of doing one with like a whip, like where there's a whip, there's a way, like doing a shirt like that. That could be neat. And then 3rd design to be determined.
Oh, I got one. So it could be you with like almost like a thinking with a point up or like that. It would say like Rob GPT with a bunch of like numbers.
Yeah, we thought about the Rob GPT. We
That's
thought that
really
was good
good.
too.
That's
Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously we'll be able to change that as time goes on and get new designs. The other thing that I was going to do is I was going to get I'm getting business cards made anyways, but I'm also I think going to get official Chat of the Week business cards, right? Which then if you win the Chat of the Week, we'll send you a free shirt or a free hat, whatever you may like, and then your official business card that I will date, write your name on, and then autograph so that it's official, that you'll have memorabilia that you are the Chad of the Week.
Well, that's gotta be Chat of the Month then. Like if you're getting an official,
maybe we'll do Chat of
yeah.
the Month. Yeah, we'll do it once a
like
month.
just, I mean, Just
There it
and
is.
then also, you know, a hi, I'm Avarice. Let's just go work on that one there.
We'll get that business
Let it
card
go-
that just
let
says
it go
"Hi,
to
I'm
live.
Avarice." An official Normal America with Robnoerr "Hi, I'm Avarice" business card.
Nobody wants your autograph, Avarice. I swear.
And then
don't
on
want
the back-
autograph.
Why you
I just
talking
want
like this?
On the back, it just says "Hi, I'm Jess Gerald." And then depending on, yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You just, depending on if you're showing it to fans or law enforcement, you switch it to the side that benefits you the
Oh,
most. Like,
That'd be
yeah,
so
good shit.
funny.
It was great. It was great. See, my wife was confused. She thought this was Jess Gerald.
I thought this guy was just Gerald.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I'm-
we're so
I'm-
confused.
That would be so great. I'm doing that now. I'm going to spray paint this shirt, and it's going to say "Hi, I'm Avarice." In the back, it's going to say, "But I'm just Daryl."
Jess Gerald. Yeah, it's so good shit. But yes,
And it's got to be like really official print on the back. Like the "Hi, I'm Avarice" got to be spray painted in orange, and then in the back it's got to be like typed, like "Hi, I'm
Right.
just Gerald."
yes.
Yeah,
Very good.
with like collegiate letters and outlining and everything. Yeah.
Want the autograph. I should be now the merch that you buy online will be hard for me to autograph, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not dealing with any of it, in part because I'm incompetent and in part because I'm lazy. So right, the idea will be that it'll literally be printed to order. So you'll go on, you'll say, I want a large shirt. You'll print it, you'll pick the options, the color you want, you'll pay the guy from the shop that you're going to buy it from that I'm working through. He's just going to send me a check at the end of every month. He's going to ship it out, do all of that work. So it's not going to be a situation where it's like, oh, I go pick something up and then it sits in my house for 2 months and you're like, where the fuck's my shirt I paid for months ago? Like, that's not going to happen. I'll give you the number to harangue this guy, but he's very good. He does this for other people, and this is his business. So it'll be hard.
For sure. But what we could do is for the chat of the week, we do the business card and whatnot. And for the chat of the month, right? Let's do a fucking autographed fucking hat
Maybe
from Rob
we
North.
could
Like,
do.
maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe we could do something like that. Yeah.
Once a month, I think we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and just to prove EOD wrong, because I love to do that. You can clearly see that someone wants my autograph. We can see right here. There it is. All right,
Mm.
you see right
Crap.
there.
You wanted everyone else's autograph, is what that fucking
Someone
displays. Okay.
This isn't mine. This one wasn't mine. See, clearly somebody wanted it. All right, EOD.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Just
That's
remember.
right. There's the proof. But no, we'll make something. But generally speaking, it'll be hard for me to sign stuff. Hats would be different because we'll see. Because the problem is, like, you never know what people would want if it's a shirt, what size they want or something like that. Hat's pretty much universal. I actually had a person ask me there, I have a big head. Do you think the hat will fit? And I was like, I can't imagine, unless we're talking some real Yakub shit, like whose head that hat wouldn't fit that would be too big. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to have a monstrous head for the general sort of one size fits all captain and not.
I got a pretty big head, but it fits me just fine. So.
Yeah. I'm not even. I got a big head too, and here we'll see where I'm at. Like, it's the same. See, I'm four snaps in here,
Force.
and
This is how you guys measure.
By the way, the
your
reason I'm
guys'
not
head
wearing-
sizes by snaps.
yeah, there. My hats. You see what happens with these stupid headphones that I have? They rub, and then they
Oh,
like
son of a
wears
bitch.
out the top there. So that's why I'm wearing my brown hat and not my. The hats did sell out down there though.
No
It was-
shit. Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's very good.
Dude, everything went pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The Black Hats went first. I remember that.
Man, no. I lost out on the black hats. I feel bad about that. But that's okay.
Oh yeah, I can't show this on stream because it's my son. But yes, my.
Don't worry.
Oh, I
EOD.
can't. I can show this because it's so. Here's my son, but just this is him wearing the hat. He's wearing
I
it
took
backwards.
this one
so,
from Rob.
there you
This
go.
one literally came off of Rob's head.
That's true. Yeah. Good work, wife.
Poor EOD.
Not showing his face. Yeah.
How do you feel about that, EOD?
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Look at this. Always American. $5 says, I heard slander. I want Avarice's autograph. He held me accountable and debated with me like a boss. Hashtag Avarice autograph, please. Nice. That's very
Marin
nice.
is good people.
Yes.
Always American is Marin, and then Farrier Wild is her husband. They're fucking awesome.
Listen, I've been having to go into this Discord every morning, and I've been having to fight America first for 2 days going now. It's been brutal. It's been 3v me, and I will not give not one step back.
Where at?
In J or US or JS Urban Adventures.
Oh, and it's yes.
I heard a bit about this controversy. Apparently, his brother was talking some shit and didn't want. He did not know what the fuck he was talking about. So
And then they're like Russia's strong. I'm like, no, we have the boats. And it goes on, and then they continue it into Rob Street. I'm like, no, I will not back down.
That's funny. That was a fun. Yeah, I don't agree. I think that the U.S. military, in a heads-up, no-holds-barred fight, could take out any other military in the world right now. I do think that if you're talking at a skirmish level, let's say that you limited it to similar technologies with similar amounts of troops, there's possibly an argument to be had that because Russia at this point is more battle-hardened, that it could win individual conflicts like that. And there's certainly arguments to be had that given the restrictions that would be placed on the United States in several types of conflicts, such as like guerrilla warfare, etc., versus insurgencies, that the United States could possibly not achieve their agendas in totality like in Afghanistan. But just a heads up, like every weapon on the table with the exception of nuclear weapons, and certainly if you include nukes, then yeah, the United States wins. But if you take everything other than that on the table, I think the U.S. wins pretty convincingly.
It still thinks about like I look at I get even if they won the ground combat in their land. Let's start with that. In their land. Let's start with this. Name a sea battle we've lost. Away.
Can't think of one.
It's
It's impossible. We've been fighting sea battles since our inception. We were incepted. Our military's incepted to fight sea battles. Barbary pirates is why we were incepted. For pirates.
Well, that's why the Marine Corps was incepted. I mean, really.
Rule 1, you don't fuck with American boats. Rule number 1. Here's the reason. You want to know why we've lost Vietnam in their opinion? You want to know why we lost Iraq in their opinion? Because they didn't break a cardinal sin. So we've been fighting with no love because they didn't sink a boat yet. Just wait till it comes to combat and they sink a boat. Every American, every color national American arms together and obliterates whoever sinks the boat.
Well, the other thing is that the one front that we can actually compare our forces against Russian forces on is Afghanistan, and I think we did a much better job than Russia did with Afghanistan up until the point that Joe Biden decided to just we're just going to pull out and turn everything over to them. I think Afghanistan went remarkably well compared to the way it happened for the Russians.
Yeah, God forbid they do, but I dare them to sink a boat. I dare them. God forbid, but I dare them. It would be disastrous. America number 1.
Listen,
America number 1.
Again, I see the point that he was trying to make, but I ultimately agree with you that I think that it's too much. The United States, like I said, the way I always argued this in debate was that line that the great Phil Kerpen gave me. You know who has the biggest air force in the world? The United States Air Force. You know who has the second biggest? The United States Navy. You know who has the third biggest? The United States Army. Like, that's pretty fucking crazy. And that's not even to get into naval ships and things like that. I mean, the amount of money the United States... Now, do I think that some of the leadership of the military's sort of been promoted not based on competency, but based on other shit? Sure. But still, the overwhelming manpower, and you certainly can't... you cannot besmirch or overlook, like, just... the intensity of the U.S. soldiers and what they bring. By the way, let's see if I can find this. You guys, as veterans yourselves, you might find this funny. I saw this.
Is it a cadence song? Oh, I love a good cadence.
No.
And just so you know, I am a veteran, so I have the sole authority on what would win. Remember that.
That's right.
I saw this on a TikTok invasion.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. So,
Let's see. No, it's a Shane Gillis thing. It was hilarious.
Give me that bone.
I'm looking here. I'm not going to be able to find it. You
oh,
see,
there it is. Attack of the wild pup.
I scrolled it.
That's
through
what
this.
happens, man. I'm always under attack. All right, you always gotta be on your heels. This some bitch running around. I'll tell you that.
Let's see. Media. It's very good. It was about World War II. I thought it was worthwhile. But he's like on a podcast and they're talking about it. Though it has that stupid ass. What's that song that you hear now on all the TikToks and shit? You know what I'm talking about? Like the JetBlue, or not the JetBlue one, but there's a song you hear all the time.
The
Hear
what?
all the there's a JetBlue song you hear in a lot of these videos, but then there's this other one that's like, I don't know how to explain it. If I find the video, then you'll be like, oh yeah, that song. It's on like every video. I'm not gonna be able to find it.
I know. There's an Army cadence one where they're walking through like the training facility, and he's like, you know, I left my boy back home. He was crying by my side, and I fucking came to war anyway, and I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be great. But you know, that's not exactly how it went.
Let's see. If I can't find it, it's no problem.
I will not play Zelda. I will not simp out on some stupid little fairy game.
Listen.
that
Okay,
EOD play.
you're just running. You're just running, Avarice. Okay, you're just running because you know that I can argue
Play-
Zelda better than you.
Come play a man's game like Rust.
All right, here we go. You guys might get a kick out of this. You ready?
And the Germans had no idea that America was populated with dudes from coal mines in West Virginia that were like, yeah. I shot the prisoners. I done it.
Yeah, it was just dudes. They just took orders their whole lives. They're like, go pick those weeds, boy. And they go out there and pick the weeds. And like, you're going to go fight those Japanese. And
He's
you're
like, all right. He's like, yeah, it rained for a month. I didn't like it. What could I do? So I shot him.
Dude, those dudes were so
We
strong, too.
Yeah.
What was it, 1940s farm boys?
Yeah.
They're the
Dude,
strongest.
literally a guy from a coal. His dad was in World War I, came back and worked in a coal mine for 50 years. Then he was like, I want to be like my dad. And he just went to the coal mine, started working. And they pulled him out when he was 18 to go in World War II.
Imagine being a Japanese 19-year-old getting strangled to death by one of those guys. Just having that coal miner's hands around your neck. Like, yeah, now you better hold still there.
Yep. Come here now.
Come on now.
Now you're shooting at my buddies. So
Probably treat him like a
now
damn
you're
pig.
dead. Japanese and German.
Yeah, I mean that's the caliber, like the strength of like, and they did. This is all joking aside. Like, there's a lot of historical references to like in World War II, particularly the Japanese when they become in person. Like, I read this story about someone narrating this one time about this like badass Japanese dude who had this like samurai sword. Right. And it was like, he was going to fuck some people up. Right. And like, he just like charged up. I forget, it's this dude that ended up becoming this like famous soldier, but he's just like a private or whatever. And he's just big as shit. Like this fucking corn fed country boy. And this Japanese dude just comes up with like this samurai sword and it's like going to take him out. And the dude just like grabs his wrist and just pummels him to death.
Yeah.
And it's just like the size difference between the average like US soldier versus Japanese soldier was incredible. And it's just like when it came down to like literal hand-to-hand combat, a lot of the quote, like, this mystified, like, the martial arts of like, the Asian world and shit. Yeah, it didn't really mean shit. Like,
Well, I mean,
just
that
the
was
old.
that was one of the critiques at being at a con, wasn't it? There was just like all 6-foot chads at the con.
Well, then he has.
We're all Viking motherfuckers. You come fuck with us, you're gonna have a fucking fight on your hands. I'll tell you that.
He's got a. And Shane Gillis has a really funny one about George Washington too. Have you heard that one?
The hilarious part is that these guys don't give any fucking thought to it. They're like, well, this is what needs to be done, so by God, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
You ever see that painting of George crossing the Delaware? Standing. He's the only one standing on the rowboat. Everyone else is like, George, you got to get down. George, over there, get him. You know what happened that day when George crossed the Delaware? It was Christmas Day, and it was a bit of a massacre because George caught the British off guard because the British absolutely correctly assumed. They were like, only a retarded guy's going to try to cross this icy river today in a rowboat. Fortunately for them, our first president was on the other side of that river. It's like, get in the boat, we gotta kill these motherfuckers.
Let's fucking go.
But the rest of the bit he talks about, he's like George Washington was what, like 6'3" or something, which back then would be the equivalent of like being like 7 feet tall now. He's like, just imagine, like you're the British and you look into the forest. There's George Washington, basically looking like a 7-foot red-haired monster, just like like snarling with wooden teeth. You'd be like, holy shit, what is happening here? Like they didn't see it, man. Like the ferocity of like the history of the U.S. military. It's insane.
Well, what is it? The Daniel Morgan was bayoneted 17 times or whatever, or was it Samuel Whitmore? One of the guys it was either Daniel Morgan or Samuel Whitmore was bayoneted 17 times while continuing to fight.
No shit,
and
man.
then still lived after being bayoneted 17 times.
It's crazy.
You had somebody like Chesty Puller, okay, sitting in a corridor.
Okay.
Waiting with a fucking M60 and motherfuckers come around the corner, blah 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 blah. He fucking nailed down 160 of these motherfuckers, man. They don't know what they're screwing with. They don't know what they're
I
screwing
always
with.
get Daniel Morgan and Whitmore confused. They're just the most badass guys. I get, you know, when you think you have like two badass men and you just conflate. You don't know which one to like to me, the American Rambos, Daniel Morgan, Samuel Whitmore. That's the original Rambos. Followed up with Jake McNasty McNeese, you know.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You can't fucking forget Chesty Puller though. You can't forget that. You can't forget Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, man. He's the first guy to put a mounted gun on the back of a Jeep.
They're not even my favorite. They're not even my favorite. My favorite hero is actually Ching Ling, but I have to give for like badassery, right? We're just talking about badassery here. Right, because my favorite, like actual war hero is Ching Ling.
Ching Ling.
So, Ching Ling.
Well, he don't even sound American. What are you talking about?
He's more American than you'll ever be.
Oh,
my god, man. That's a high town to fucking borrow right there.
He's not only a sharpshooter that had no eyesight, and he also won gold medals for American sharpshooting in the Olympics and everything else. He was. Ching Lee, excuse me. I call him Ching Lee. I call him Ling because they call him. It was a joke on his name. They used to call him Ching Ling as a joke. But he was an admiral, and he actually, he's who pulled the red tape on the VT fuse and won us the war. He also won us in Midway. He's the guy that said, "Move out the way. I'm coming through. This is Ching Lee."
I'm sure in exactly those words.
He did. Swear to God, you can go look it up.
Well, all right.
Some of those stories, though, it's like, even like, listen, I do think too that it's impressive to look at any heroic stories from any soldier, even if they're not American. Like, just to listen to like the stories of like, what was the name of that Danish dude? That like his face was all fucked up for laying in the snow. He was like a sniper that had like 240 something confirmed kills. Like he found himself like in the middle of the fucking blizzard.
You know what we need to do is we have like at some point we need to see if we should review some of those hero videos, like from like the Fat Electrician one day, and just sit back and watch those war hero videos as like a segment.
It'd be great.
I'm sure if we asked, he'd be fucking down for it, man. He's fucking cool as shit.
Is he?
I think we should ask if we could review his videos on our stream.
Yeah.
Get him an email to the
that would be great.
I'll fucking reach out to him, man. I'll fucking reach out to him. We'll see what we get.
That would be cool if we could review his shit. Or just watch it as our show.
That would be cool. Man.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? Like
amazing.
What was the name of I forget there was a movie my grandpa liked. I think it was World War II. Like the Sergeant something. I can't remember the name. Was it Bilko? Sergeant Bilko?
Sergeant Savage, maybe?
Let me look this up. But he is this. Let me see if I can find this movie.
Bilko.
I thought it was Bilko. I could be wrong. No, Sergeant Bilko's the Steve Martin movie, which is he was not a real life.
It's the Tom Arnold one. That's the one he's getting.
It's let me see.
Hold on now. Dustin's gonna get another. He's gonna get another fucking clip.
Here it comes, McHale's Navy. Here it comes.
McHale's Navy?
That's what it's gonna be.
No, it's not McHale's Navy. I can't remember the name. It's not Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, fuckers.
Oh man, what was that one? Periscope down with fucking Leslie.
Yes, it's not that. It's not Hogan's
That
Dirty
Gun
was a good
Rosin.
Dozen.
one. That was a
The
good one.
Dirty Dozen.
Why
The
can't I
Dirty
think-
Dozen. That was a great one too. That was a great one too.
All right. So it was a U.S. soldier. I think it was World War II. Maybe WW2. And he takes like a whole regiment hostage.
And it's yeah, he's a priest. He's the pastor dude that doesn't kill people. He just took them all hostage.
Older movie. Let's see.
I can find out the guy's name right here from YouTube.
Oh, come on. Let's see if I can find it. Well,
Unstoppable John Bastion. Basilone. John Basilone.
that
is
might
the
be
guy
it.
you're looking for.
He was just like some fucking country boy. And like he finds himself like behind enemy lines. And it's just like basically with the shotgun, just one after another. Bam, 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 bam. And he finally gets to like, the company commander or whatever of the Germans and fucking takes the whole regiment by just like basically for weeks just sitting there like armed with like, his firearm up next to this general.
The Pacific.
Yeah.
The movies you're looking for is the Pacific.
That might be it. Yeah.
I
So-
think that's it.
Battle of the Bulge. Everybody,
think I just-
would you
I
just
think I
say
just-
Zulu?
I think I just beat Rob GPT.
Yeah, he's a black guy, had a big spear. It was incredible.
His name was Zulu. That's what it was. Yeah,
Hold on.
definitely.
Did I just beat
Oh
Rob
my
GPT
goodness.
and I got a late start?
I'm still
The
I'm
Pacific?
still
Is it the Pacific?
I still don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. I thought his name was Tom something. Maybe
There was
it's
one with Denzel Washington not too terribly long ago about Pearl Harbor. I think that was. I don't know. There's been a ton of them, man. There's been a ton of movies about World War II. There's a shit ton of them.
Tom. I just don't know a Tom.
it might even be totally fictional.
There's the Pied Piper. That was in Vietnam.
I don't know. I'm an idiot.
I think it's John Bastellon in the Pacific. Is what you're
That could
thinking
be
of.
it.
It could be.
Well,
That's
someday I'm gonna find it for sure, and I'm gonna be on it. I fucking hate that. Like, I'm that type of person. I'll
Alvin
have something on
York?
the tip of my tongue, and like I'll be laying in bed tonight at like 5 a.m. and like pop up, and be like,
yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's what it is. Though it was pretty bad. No, it wasn't a comedy. It wasn't Hacksaw Ridge. It's an older movie. I thought his name was like Tom something, Sergeant Tom or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Sergeant York. Is it
Yeah,
Sergeant York?
that's it. It's Sergeant York. That's the
That's-
movie.
It's Sergeant York, right?
I think that's it. Yes,
I got you beat. I beat it.
you
I
did.
beat Brian.
I think that's it.
What's the name of the movie? Is it Sergeant York?
Sergeant
Oh,
York.
all right.
Yeah. His name
I'll be
wasn't
damned.
Tom. Alvin York. Yeah. He's pinned down by German machine gun fire. After superiors are killed or wounded, he takes command using exceptional marksmanship home from years of hunting. He killed 25 German soldiers and captured 132 prisoners, effectively silencing 35 machine guns. He was given the Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross, and the French Croix de Guerre. 1941, though, so this has to be, World War One.
No, in 1941 it was definitely World War II.
No. The movie was 41. So his actions
Oh, okay. Yeah.
were in
right.
1918.
Yeah.
which
What
were-
I'm
right
saying
on.
is that you saying World War II threw me off. You see?
But yes, and I said Tom, and I said Sergeant Bilka.
Look at.
I
I had a
all
late
bad.
start and I still won. I know my
Yes.
heroes.
There you go. It's a good story, though. He's a simple country, but it brought to mind he was like a simple countryman, right? That had hunted, and that's what his experience like hunting. He knew to like sort of if he got behind the position and just basically took them off one by one, you know. Oh, look at this fucking button. $10 says, "Oh shit, not the Gingerverse." Also, Avarice, Daniel's livestock is very angry with your questions, my friend. And Rob, you know you've been killing it. Like it owes you 72 cousin livestocks. Oh,
I'm not ginger. That's bullshit. Fuck you. I'm not ginger. That's bullshit.
Oh, fucking crushing it. We will have your merch soon. Also, I missed this one. Brennan Bell, thanks so much. $10 says, "Hope everyone in Rob's having a great Thanksgiving. God bless." Yes, absolutely. I don't know that I'll be streaming Thanksgiving night. Maybe though. Why not? I'll be in here all comatose with what is it? Tryptophan? Is that the shit?
Yeah,
turkey? I'll
tryptophan
be
is
in
in
here just
turkey.
like, oh,
It'll put you to sleep,
turkey.
man. It'll put you to
Yes.
sleep.
I'm starting a very serious diet after Thanksgiving, like very serious. Like, don't want to look like a huge fat bastard January 10th out there at Word War, because I'm gonna have to get a tailored suit for the first time in my life. So I'd prefer it not to be uber fat bastard. So hopefully, if I really clamp down for like 25 days, by the time I start to get to like January 1st, and I go into the tailor and say, okay, I would like a suit that makes me look just like a fat bastard as opposed to a very fat bastard. You know, I think that'll be fine. But no, if I'm gonna get it,
Just go double breasted and fucking own it, Rob. Just be fucking yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Gibbs already cornered the market on like hefty guy suits. I can't beat that. You know, so I
The
gotta
big
lose weight.
purple suit.
Yes, I can't. What am I gonna do? I can't compete with that.
Admiral Gibbs was wearing that big Barney suit.
Oh, that
That's
was
great.
hilarious.
And
That
the
was
shoes
awesome,
matched
man.
it. The shoes matched it.
His shoes were fucking insane. He showed up to the fucking hotel one night with these fucking crazy red velvet shoes. It was nuts. I couldn't understand it.
So that's the plan. I would like to be down. I figure, I don't know what I weigh now. Let's say 260. I feel in 1 month I could get down to 120. I think that's a reasonable goal. So drop 140 pounds in 30 days would be good.
No, that sounds bad. That sounds terrible. Don't do that.
I just thought that, you know, I don't know.
have to
Hold
be-
on. This will be easy. We just have to follow the EOD food diet. Now, what do you eat, EOD? And this will be an easy task for Rob to accomplish. Trash from the lettuce from the trash, right? Spare trash lettuce?
No. Just
Oh.
beer. Just cheap fucking beer. That's it. That's
Cheap-
all you
Cheap
get.
beer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's your food.
Okay, so if you just live off of cheap beer, all right, we should do this.
No, I don't think it'll work. I really don't.
Fucking button, $5 says you're lying, Gingerverse. So it has been spurred, and so it shall be, and stuff. Oh, little Yul Brenner quoting a little Yul Brenner there. Oh, that's nice. Look, that's Brennan Bell. Thanks. $10 says I have a tailored suit. Doesn't fit anymore. F you, beer. Yes, that's my fear. You know, I'm gonna go get a tailored suit, and but here's the thing, right? Like Jake's gonna be there, and I can't let Jake just outdress me again. So I gotta up my game. I have no chance. Jake's a snappy dresser, but I can at least be in the conversation. You know.
We could be like one of our friends that showed up in a Hugo Boss.
Yes, right. Look at this, Crusader. 5 gifted memberships. Thank you
Crusader.
so much. Yeah, like a total.
JS Super Avengers definitely looked like fucking Hugo Boss.
Yes.
He was awesome though, man. He was good times. I loved hanging out with him.
Is the invasion done?
It is. They went and
Oh,
invaded the speakeasy.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I just wondered because my YouTube always shows like here. I'll just show this.
And now the viewer count is up. You see?
Yeah.
Now
See-
the donuts come in.
See, you see how it says that he's still live streaming?
You have to refresh it from the hard refresh.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. That must be it. Vernon Desert, $20 says, hope it's not too late to donate for Thanksgiving. Of course not. Of course not. No, that's
And
fine.
look
Right
at-
over to-
Look at not only did we have Zach Gelpy, the Zionist today, but we got Emmett, the other Zionist.
also a Zionist.
Yeah.
I was basically told I was Jewish this morning by some angry man who also claimed I was gay for hanging up Christmas lights with my son.
Wait,
What- how
why?
the fuck
Look,
does that work?
you know how you can tell he's a Zionist, right? He doesn't even have a membership. You see that? He's just cheap.
Oh, Wow,
You see
these
that?
are harmful stereotypes here that you're levying
Let's-
at me.
Well, we got to get some fucking memberships in here to cover the stereotypes, man. You got to cover the stereotypes. That's what
But
you
that
got to do.
that dude did like freak the fuck out when he was like, well, where do you go to church? What are you? And I was like, Catholic, and he's like, I'm out. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, I think that I didn't realize until after I was there. Old Joe Zionist as well. Yeah, with no membership. See? Yeah, I got called Jewish, implied to be Jewish, feminine, gay, all because I was hanging up Christmas lights with my son. It was like, yeah, right.
Well, I mean,
Like,
if
what
that's the case, that's all EOD does for a living. Then is hang Christmas lights.
No, that's
So-
not true. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say right now, Everest? What are you trying to say? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's quite
My
obvious.
dog has something to say to you. What do you say,
What?
buddy?
Saying
What?
it to you. Yeah, exactly. He's like, we don't like gay men around here.
Also, two of the criticisms, the most outlandish criticism was this guy somehow implying that like potentially putting up Christmas lights like at 10 a.m. is like ridiculous. I mean, I wasn't going to put them up at 10 a.m., but that's weird to me, right?
EOD, we know what that dog is saying.
But then the other criticism was that it's like it's still November. I don't know what it's like where you all live, but like all my neighbors have Christmas stuff up. We're one of the last people in our little area. But this guy was acting like that's unheard of to put Christmas lights up in November.
How dare you?
I mean, am I wrong? Like, what's the chat thing? Is that weird?
I thought a lot of people put the Christmas lights up before Thanksgiving. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but like right before it, because then the family that comes for Thanksgiving gets to see the lights, and the family that gets to come for Christmas, whether they choose one or the other, they get to see the lights.
See, we always put the Christmas tree up after Thanksgiving. So we would put it up like the day after Thanksgiving was usually how we did it. But lights was a crapshoot. You just kind of found a decent day sometime around the end of November. And if it was decent out, you're like, oh boy, it might be snowing or raining soon. Let's get out there and put the lights up, right? And so it didn't matter if it was before Thanksgiving or not. But the tree we always did after Thanksgiving. And around here, there's a lot of people, like as soon as Halloween was done, it's like it was all one shot, take down the Halloween decorations and then put up the Christmas decorations. So it must be like it's fresh in your mind, like, well, I'm packing up the Halloween stuff, might as well put out the Christmas stuff. So there were a lot of people right at the beginning of November that had their Christmas stuff.
Well, save your dog.
Half
Save your
the
dog.
time
Go
when
to
I
the
was
porno
going-
section. Save the dog. Hey, get back from back there. That's a dangerous spot. EOD, get your dog. He's in the adult section.
Oh, is that
He's
behind
fine.
the behind the blanket there?
First of all, he's fine. It's just a kitchen. Secondly, when I was a kid going out fucking Halloween trick or treating and shit, half the time it would be snowing. So it's like right on the cusp of actual winter. But I don't know. These days it's a little bit warmer. But
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what the normal, the course of things are as far as where we're at. Uh-oh, I'm hearing an echo. Who is it? EOD? Bastard!
it's probably me. It's probably me.
It's all right. I just kind of judge by my neighbors. Like, you're always trying to keep up with the Joneses. My neighbor last year, he told me that what he was going to do this year was just put one string of lights, and then he had like an inflatable Grinch that he was just going to have like the light going into the bag. Like the Grinch stole all of his lights on his house and was just going to have it sitting out in the front. I thought that was a good way to be lazy. Like, that's kind of clever. Like the Grinch stole all of your lights, but no, he put up a bunch of stuff already. And now I look like a fool. Oh, what was that?
I was looking for the I blame EOD, but I couldn't find it.
That's under banners.
You quit pushing
Oh,
buttons
there
on
it
screen.
is.
You're just breaking
There
shit.
it
You're
is.
just
Yes,
breaking shit.
that one I got right. Easily accessible.
Man,
Yes.
oh, there it is. Oh.
Yeah, now you found it.
my
Yes,
goodness sake.
yes.
It's
yes.
all my fault. It's always my fault. I know.
Where? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it doesn't it feel good?
There we go.
Just to click it, it feels nice. It's
Yeah,
like,
it does feel
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I mean, it's not my fault.
Yeah. I do that all the time. My wife would be like, I thought I asked you to take the garbage out. I'm like, 1 second. Check the computer screen here. And she's like, yes.
Listen,
Makes sense
okay,
now.
if I'm a guest in your house, I will take the fucking garbage.
Thank
out,
you.
okay?
Thank you.
Well, yeah, because we usually leave that for the peasantry.
Uh-huh. So,
Oh, go fuck yourself. That's fair.
what do we see? Chicken pork adobo, $2 says we put up Christmas lights on September 1st, a Filipino thing. There you go. So I don't know. This guy who I I'm pretty sure was of the Islamic faith. He wasn't digging the Christmas lights. Maybe that's like really what pissed him off, right? That he's like, son of a bitch, seeing these Christmas lights. It's bad enough I have to see them at all. But in November, you bastards. It's like, oh, sorry, dude.
You're the reason why we're wasting all this electricity.
I'm
You're the
sure
reason why
over
we
in-
have power outages across America.
I'm sure in Qatar and Yemen, you know, that they don't have Christmas lights up in November. So, you know, teach their own. Medieval Mike says, please excuse my spelling. I had a California public education. That's okay. I had a Pennsylvania one. So.
You'll be forgiven through a dono chat. So
Donos. Well,
super
he's
chat.
on.
Yeah, that's how you get.
He's
forgiven.
on Twitch, so I wouldn't even know.
That's how you
Then
do it.
just send EOD the links.
Yeah.
Links. EOD links.
Well, I can't actually talk on Twitch. I can't talk on Twitch, so that's a problem.
Oh yeah, he got he got yelled at over there on Twitch. The
Yeah,
jerks.
I got banned like 5 times on Twitch. Like I have ban evaded and ban evaded and ban evaded, and they're like, okay, your IP is fucking banned now. So it doesn't matter what I register on Twitch. They're not gonna let me fucking talk over there.
Yes. My wife had a Pennsylvania private education, and so is my son. He loves his class. But yeah, we still can't spell. My son's gonna be much better at math, I think, which is cool for me. I was okay at math, like basic arithmetic, but then once you got into like pre-calc and stuff, trig, I was garbage. I
What
couldn't-
at what week did you start getting impatient? Like I'm like sitting here like I'm poking her with the broom. I'm saying, hey, you know, Riddick, time to come out.
and
I've
about
done all
and
the
about well, I was impatient the whole
you
time.
can think of.
So like as soon as we found out, I wanted to like call all of my friends. And my wife said, like, just hold on. Like, let's, you know, so and then, you know, every step of the way I was like, come on. Like, should we go to the hospital now? Should we go over now? And my wife's just like, no, I think I'm fine. And then, you know, like I said, our due date was January 6th, which obviously it was January 6th, 2021, which, you know, the Democrats will never leave us forget. But then the other thing that January 6th was cool about, and I have to be very vague about this, but one of the gentlemen I worked with at work, his birthday is January 6th, and he was super excited that my son's birthday was going to be the same as his. So he always messed that up going forward. The years I worked with him, he'd be like, January 6th, my birthday, and it's Hank's birthday, right? And I'd be like, no, the due date was January 6th. But Hank actually came January 9th. So we were 3 days past the due date. Have you got to that part where you're past the due date yet?
No.
Yeah, then it's pins and needles now. Because you'll just be doing stuff. Like, you'll be like, oh, I got to fucking put something in the garage. I got to do this and that. And the whole time you're like, what if it's right now? Like, what if right now I have to hop in the car right now? Like, that's how I was. So I'm constantly, so that footage of me, like, on January 6th, like, flipping out, like, part of it, it was, like, the only 20 minutes probably that entire day I wasn't thinking about, like, oh, my goodness. And then once you're there, like, I don't know, it was different than what I expected to a degree. I kind of thought, like, I don't know, my wife's here, so she's probably going to get pissed to hear me say this. I thought that being in labor was like constant pain. So if it was like you're 20 hours in labor, that it was like for 20 hours, you're just like, but it's not like that. It like would come in waves, right? And for me, it didn't hurt at all. Actually, it was a very comfortable experience. I just sort of relaxed and, you know.
My wife just sent a message through Discord. She's like, tell them, like my wife wants in, tell them I don't think we're going to make it past the due date.
Yeah. See, with my wife, we suspected we would, and she ended up being induced. So, and it was funny too, because like all day I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm talking to my wife. She's not like in horrible pain, you know? And I'm like, oh, this ain't going to be that bad. Because look, this is, you know, as a husband, you don't want to hear your wife in any sort of pain, let alone labor pains. And so everything's going, it's like, it's not that bad, not that bad.
This thing's huge. So I think this thing's coming soon. It's like, this thing's massively in her.
So we're like in the middle of the night and they're talking about a possible inducing. And then a woman comes in and she's in the door next to us. And all of a sudden you hear her screaming and you're like, oh shit. Like, it's not like, cause I'm like, oh, this was way over exaggerated. Like, it's not that painful. And then once I actually heard the woman next door, I was like, oh, maybe it does hurt. But that woman was a pro. Like, she was in and out in like fucking 40 minutes. My wife was induced, and then we thought, okay, they sort of tell you this is when it's going to be. And what happened was there was an Amish woman that came in, and it was more of an emergent situation. So they kept pushing back. So at first it was like 2 a.m., then it was like 4 a.m., then it was like 6 a.m., and then it was like, well, it's going to be 8 a.m. And so that's sort of, it got pushed back. And then, like I said, I told the story the other day, they keep me in a room, right? And they take her into a different room, right? And so they have me put the booties on and all that shit and this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off and I'm like, oh shit, something happened to my wife. Something's going on. And so I sit there like panicking for 5 minutes. And then finally someone looks in and is like, oh no, it's just the fire alarm. Your wife's great. Everything's ready to go. And we went over. And at that point it was pretty quick once I went over there. And I don't even know how to explain it. Like they hand me my son and I'm like, are you sure? Like, I can't even breathe. I'm like, are you sure? Like, you're handing me this guy, and it's weird. It's like a blur. And they had us stay for like 24 hours because it was during COVID. So they wanted to be very careful. So we spent the night and we stayed like 24 hours. And it was like, I don't think I slept at all. And it's super weird because all of my friends in like my text exchange, they're all big Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And the Steelers on that night played the Browns. And the game started with the Steelers hiking the ball over the quarterback's head into the end zone.
I'm going to need all my friends. I already know. My friends are going to have DoorDash ready. Like, Avarice is going to need food.
Yes.
Like,
so they're like, oh, look at this play. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I could care less about this. I don't care whatsoever. We were there for 4 days. There you go. So, I mean, for me, it was a blur. It really was. I bet I slept only a couple hours in those 4 days. And then they give you this baby and they put him in the car seat. And like, I don't know what the speed limit is from where the hospital was back. I'm sure it's like 45, 55 mile an hour. I'm driving like 20 mile an hour, like fucking this, like white knuckled, like my kid, it's weird. It's a super weird feeling where it's like, wow, like it just like, you're waiting for the cops to pull you over, like, sir, you cannot have a human. Like, you're incapable of taking care of a human being. It's like, yeah, you got me. Like, somehow I snuck out. I'm like looking over my shoulder, like, really? No one's gonna stop me. They're gonna let this go. It was crazy. But yeah, it was quite insane. There's nothing like it. And I'm sure if you have multiple children, I'm sure the second time it's still insane. But you're kind of a little more knowing what to expect. But that first time, it was just like, whew.
Yeah, I'm so impatient right now. I'm like pacing at night.
Let's go. Right?
I'm like sitting here. And like, as soon as she's like, all right, we're at term. I'm like, what's that mean? She's like, it can flip and we can go. And I'm like, what's that mean? She's like, any minute. I'm like
now? Like start the car?
Yeah. Any minute. That way we were expected on this day. Is this the day? Like, no, it could be this day. Okay, but it's 7 pounds now, so it could be now. Now?
It's crazy.
This cracks me up. Courtney says all I wanted was a damn cold cut sandwich.
That's true.
Dude, I'm telling you, my friends better know better. My friends better be like, all right, Avarice just needs food. He doesn't need any gifts. He's a minimalist. Just send him food. All right.
Brennan Bell, $10 says, go Browns, baby. Listen. You had that game. Browns fans, not much to cheer for, so we'll give you that one. It's like me, I'm a Pirates fan. We get like 2 or 3 wins a year out of 162 games. So, but yeah, that's
why I root for college ball. There's more variance there.
Yep. Yeah. I don't pay much attention. I still follow sports. For me, sports, it's very much like video games were for a while, though I play games a little more now, not much. But for me, video games were just an excuse to talk to friends. So we'd play Call of Duty and I'm shit, but at least I could talk to my friends while I was on there. Same with sports, right? All your friends would get on the phone and be texting shit. Oh, the game. It's like, sure, fuck it. Fantasy football we play. I don't give a fuck about it, but it's a way to talk to friends, Yeah, the sub shop from the hospital. Yeah. Of course, then you gotta you gotta keep the key Avarice is this. You need to get to everything bagel. You start at Cheerio and you need to get to everything bagel. So just
Everything
keep
bagel.
keep that in mind, and everything will go smooth. But I would not stop the whole time I'm in there. I'm like every nurse that would come in, I was like, am I not the best support
Dude,
person you've ever seen? I'm a great support person, right?
I dread me in there because you've seen me at debate con. I'm in there like push it out, let's go. Hey, who's this guy? Hi, I'm Avarice. This is my baby. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Get out of here. World.
I can already see me grifting too while I'm in there going, all right, 30 memberships from the robnoerr show. This comes out in 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's man, it was, it was weird too, because they were explaining to us like how rare it was at this point for like a husband to be there and like the baby to be born like in marriage. They're like, that's the rarity now. Like I couldn't believe how many times the nurse, because the nurse was talking to us, she's like, you wouldn't believe how many women come in alone. Can you imagine? Like sitting there, like you're scared, you're nervous, and
you
just
think
sitting
they
there
would
alone.
react, Rob? How do you think they would react if you went in kind of like just National Geographic style? You go, the doctors haven't approached my wife's vagina.
Yeah, so
and she's about ready to push my baby out.
Yes.
Just live streaming it the whole time like a documentary, like fucking Steve Irwin and shit.
My guess is they would not be pleased, would be my guess.
My wife is taking lots of breaths while pushing my hand as hard as possible.
Yeah, it was. It would probably be something, but yeah, you wouldn't believe the stories I heard.
And then you'd be so mad.
One of the things that was, nice was that it was during COVID, and it's like, well, why is that nice? Because we didn't have to worry about people coming and visiting, right? You were just like, oh no, no one's allowed here. So like one of the things that you hear a lot of women that go is like, you'll just have person after person. Oh, grandma wants to come, and the neighbor wants to come, and the sister wants to come, and it's like. The woman's kind of like, I'd like to just rest. Yeah, I'm not up to talking to 5,000 different people, So for us, we didn't have to make excuses. It was just like, oh, sorry, hospital says no. Like there was only one person allowed that was to come in and out, and that was me. So Paximo, $10 says Avarice, live streaming the birth of his firstborn son, taking a break for grifting for Rob during the pushing. Yeah, could you see? Play the whip song. You're like still on mobile, like, come on. Yeah. Good shit. Yeah. There's a good grifter. Maybe we'll give you 10 minutes to take off, like it's good shit. But no, there's nothing like it, man. There really isn't. But you'll see. And then once it's over, you're just like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened. It's really just an unbelievable feeling. I don't know. I'm still to this day shocked. Like, I had a bad track record with houseplants and keeping them alive. And now I have a little baby human. I'm like, I don't know about this.
I just have my dog, and I'm really bad with that. He's fat as fuck, spoiled, and he gets whatever he wants. His birthday is like $8,000. So, like, I'm just like,
Yeah, that's how we, like, I remember growing up, like, I had basically my uncle had a dog and he used to like feed him lobster and stuff. And back then, like I'm a teenager, I'm mowing yards for like $10 a yard. And I'm like, you bought your dog like a $90 meal? Now I get it. Now we'll be fucking out somewhere and I'm like, oh, don't forget, get Dorothy something we got to put in a box and take home.
People don't even know. They don't know how fancy you get. There's actually a place called the Barkery. Yeah.
Ooh.
You can get dog.
It's a restaurant for dogs.
Cake. Yeah. They got dog beer. They got
dog beer. What?
Yeah, my dog's super spoiled. They have.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They have frozen dog food, dog ice cream, dog cake, dog treats, live meat, fresh cuts. Yeah, it's fantastic. My dog had filet and flank steak for his birthday. It's fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
My dog had like chili for his birthday, so
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
it's better than dog food.
Yeah,
man. Here's what I'll say is like my brother coming up. He was awfully fucking fucking rowdy and shit. But when he had his sons, I saw a change in them. And I see this in every one of my friends who has come to the fruition of having a child, and my cousins as well. There's something that just ignites within you, and you realize that your life is not your own anymore. It's about raising this little one and giving them the best fruition that they can fucking have.
Well,
That's
look
something
at
that
here. If you don't get
you
that
can't
kind of
understand,
Thanksgiving
really.
dinner, there's a place you can go to, a dono bar in the Crucible, and we'll be sure to get you a good Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, actually, someone messaged me. I forgot. I wanted to look at that. What do we need information wise? Like an address?
No, so just send that person their Discord over to Moon. Moon will handle it.
Okay.
Yeah, or the church that you want to contribute to, or
Yeah,
whatever.
just get in touch with Moon.
What's Moon's
Rob.
Discord? Let me find this real quick. I know I'm friends with her, so give me a
Here,
second.
yeah, I'll message her.
Just send it to me, DM it, and because I did want to make sure I get back to this person.
Yeah, I think it's just Moon. I was just chatting with her earlier tonight. Thanks to Avarice and Rob suggesting me for the Thanksgiving fun. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I will end up passing that on to there was someone who contacted me about their church what do you call this, a fundraiser for a cavalry church out in Oklahoma, so I'll be passing it out that way. So,
Awesome. That's great news.
oh, yeah.
All right, yeah, she should be messaging you right now.
Excellent. Poor Moon, she's like, I'm sleeping. What are you doing?
You're lucky, dude. You're lucky you don't have to deal with me, Rob. Like these female mods have to put up with so much when it comes to me. Like you have Miss D here in the chat, and I cannot tell you the bullshit she has to deal with when it comes to me. There's that here. I'll actually I'll bring this up. You're gonna love this, Rob. I took a screenshot of it. Hold on here. Here we go. Now we can see here. There we go. If you can see rule number 4, Rob.
A wise rule. Yes. Yeah. Good shit. Yeah.
Not allowed in the kitchen. Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a way to just copy and paste a name? What am I doing? I'll figure it out.
So we can see what I put them through.
I could imagine as much of an agent of chaos as you are on this show. You're absolutely an agent of chaos in the fucking kitchen. So
I mean, I would say, listen, I didn't destroy it. I graced it with my presence, and I pointed out the anomaly of or the problem there be it, which the kitchen had, which was a lack of access. Which was allowing me access to the kitchen. Base Moon is in chat right now.
Oh, Base Moon, what is up? How are you? It's good to see you.
I got her name here, so I could just send that over.
Oh, and Temp is here. Hey, Temp, how you doing? Let Avarice have access to the kitchen. We met this guy at DebateCon. Fucking fantastic.
Very nice guy. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, we were doing it, man. We did it up at DebateCon. It was good shit. Here we go. Let me send this real quick to this guy, then I go back to paying attention.
Yeah, we can go back to we can get back to the Rob Noerr show with those donos coming in for whip songs to keep Rob up.
Whip song donos.
Let's get some fucking whip songs in here. Let's get some $20. Let's get some $50. Let's get some fucking money rolling through here. Come on.
Start tanking the viewers. 230 down to 170. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, see now the 230. If you look at it, that's only 110 on YouTube, 5 on Twitch, and then X says 114. X though the way it calculates is weird, so it's cumulative. So there's probably like one person watching on X, but every time someone streams by it counts.
So you mean I could actually up it if I just keep going in and out?
I suppose you could, yes.
Is somebody saying get a bot made?
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, here we go. The bot crew is going to be out in full force. Here they are. Oh, the bot crew. They're going to be yelling.
All right. So I have been challenged to a Zelda debate by fucking Sniper Shadow, apparently. So Sniper Shadow, you and I will fucking have that out on December 2nd. If you want to do it, brother, we'll do it right now. So That's good shit to me. I'm gonna have to get down with Speakeasy and make sure that that's still good to go. So we'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
I'm going to be reaching out to some folks and trying to line up some debates as well for me to moderate. I'll need.
Well, man, I'm down to participate if you want me in on any of them, man, for sure. Like, if you
I'll hit you all up and I'll let you guys know what's going on with it. Because it's definitely something that I want on a reel. It's to be able to show people coming up here. So
Yeah, there's only very few I'll do, Rob, but I'll be here to help and assist any way I can. Be a monkey with symbols, or if you want to do one debate with why EOD is gay, I'll be here for that one.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
take you on.
I would definitely participate in that debate, obviously, because EOD is definitely not fucking gay. It's bullshit.
now listen, in fairness, we'd have to give EOD like 2 weeks to prep. He'd have to find evidence. Extensive research.
Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Okay, I'll do it right now. Okay, EOD is not gay because I have sex with several women.
He's got a PowerPoint. He's got the whole thing set up. Like, yeah.
That's about
shit.
It's so awful.
I'll bring my evidence. EOD's OnlyFans, where he participated in one black.com episode for
that's not true. None of this is true. This is complete false allegations. I disavow. All of this is completely false.
Here, if you can just look to this picture, Rob. You see this picture, Rob? I just sent
Will you shut the fuck up? I swear to Bob.
Hold on. I'm going to send you this other picture. In Discord.
He is full of shit, chat. He is sending nothing right now. There's nothing to send. None of that exists. It's complete fucking garbage.
I just sent it to your Discord. There we go.
Fuck you, average.
You can clearly see.
No one believes anything you have to say anyway. It's garbage.
Yeah, it's damning evidence.
I would not show this. I don't know if this would violate terms of service or not, but
yeah.
A bit risky. I'm gonna have to clean the old hard drive tonight. You know, like,
oh my goodness sakes. Okay.
Now listen. It's like, what do you guys think? I'm thinking of wrapping her up tonight. What do you guys think?
I mean, we did fill the dono bar.
We did good. We did good,
and we did that during an invasion.
That's right. I think that's pretty good.
That's
and we said evidence that EOD's gay.
No, there's no evidence that EOD is gay.
There's absolutely zero evidence of that. He's a very happy man. I'm going to be on with Myrna Chuck tomorrow at 8 p.m. and then we'll
no shit.
Yeah, we'll roll straight in from that. We're going to be talking about Christian nationalism. We'll roll straight in from that into sort of my normal show. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Then, but we will also do the call-in show during the day, I believe. So that'll be at noon. So, yeah, Moon, don't worry. We're going to have the shop up and running soon. I will get you a complimentary hoodie. We'll take care of all that. So hopefully that shop's up by next week. I think the guy that was instrumental in doing that probably forgot that Thanksgiving's Thursday. So
I will make sure he won't forget, Moon. I have correct. Your DM, so I will make sure you get your hoodie one way or another. If I have to buy it myself,
no.
Just DM me if you want a black or gray one.
Yes, we will get it. We will get it on.
And Moon, also get me your dad's size because
yeah, it was great meeting him.
Fantastic guy.
It was funny. Like right out of the gate, Andrew was talking about hunting. Like within 10 minutes, it's like, yep, there you go. You can tell, like hunters get together. You can sort of like you feeling each other out. Like, what were you up to?
So tell you what, you can take care of Moon's, and I'll take care of Moon's dad's. I'll buy Moon's dad's.
Sounds good. That sounds great. We'll get that worked out.
There we go.
We are raiding. Well, that's no longer going to work. So who's on right now to raid? Let me refresh because
I think
it's claiming that Andrew's on. So
Speakeasy.
Yeah, Speakeasy's on. Let's do that. And Speakeasy. Yes, very well. Speakeasy, good dude. He's probably having some rape that Rob guy. Yeah, well, he's doing all right. So we're gonna raid over to Speakeasy. EOD and Avarice, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Rob.
Yeah, around noon. I'll be back to noon.
Yeah, make sure if you start early, you send a text because I have.
Yeah, that would be good.
My alarm for the noon. So
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
noon. It'll be maybe 5 minutes before noon, but yes, it'll be noon Eastern time.
Okay. If you're 5 minutes early, you don't have to text me. I'm already in 5 minutes early. But if you do an hour early, Rob, you text your crew, so we're not running around going, oh God.
Now
What
listen,
the fuck has happened? Oh my
one of
God.
these days it'll just be like EOD, avarice, and chair. We'll just set it up and just like not say a word.
Okay, it's even worse for me. It's even worse for me because I'm not like a chat mod. So like I'm sitting here, I'm just a back guy. So like I'm like,
No, it'll be Rob chair in EOD chair in Avarice. It'll be a great.
Guys, it'll be the most interesting conversation ever. Like you'll tune in an hour into an
Listen,
episode.
I don't know
what the
what
fuck are you talking
I
about?
don't know what you guys are talking about. Me and Cher had a wonderful dating conversation.
That's right.
Yeah,
I heard.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys like. You guys underestimate the chair. Look at just like you underestimate the whip songs. You underestimate the chair. The chair gives the best advice you could ever get. And if Rob would just release the chair every once in a while, we'd have better conversations.
That's true.
Mhm.
It's true.
It sounds reasonable. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'm gonna send everyone over there. So thank you guys, though. Honestly, it means a lot. Thanks so much. We'll talk
Cheers,
to y'all
man.
soon. Everyone else, thank you so much. Everyone who donated tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a good one. A core group here. I know there are a lot of other people that are amazing that were streaming tonight. So really cool that so many of you stuck over here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for getting to our goal. The cheeky 1,357 thing aside, we know the goal was $357 and you guys crushed it. Let me, as we're speaking, I'm going to remove that, or tomorrow I'll forget, and then people will jump on me in day shift. Look at that. Nailed it. All red. You guys are the best. Thank you to all my mods. Thank you so much to my editor, Black Elk, who is the man. Thank you so much to everyone who donated, who chatted, who liked the video, or just watched. I really appreciate you all. Please, 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 always remember the memory of Charlie Kirk, how he's one of the best of us, and they murdered him, and then they cheered on that murder and insulted his family. Please never forget that. God bless all of you. God bless Charlie Kirk, and God bless his family. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the raid of Speakeasy. We'll see y'all soon.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.